friends laughing, we click. Follow me, let's buy bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, let's buy bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, it's the Acer Show. Follow me, it's the Acer Show. Follow me, it's the Acer Show. Follow me wherever we go. Follow me wherever we go. Fast we cool, snap a big beat, move vibes, let those big friends laughing, we click. Follow me, follow me, go. Follow me, follow me, go. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia.
Sleek, swift, neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Lightweight game, heavy all night. Work off late, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift neo, oh, that's how we roll. Click, sleek, swift, neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Swift neo, you feel me. Lightweight game, heavy all night. Work out play, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift neo, oh. Let it lead, let it grow. Turn it with every tap and glow. Swift neo, that's how we roll.
On stage, vibes up, you feel me.
Swift neo.
The all-new Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor. Enjoy sharp visuals on a full HD display with a flexible 180-degree hinge. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. Powerful, flexible, and ready to go. The Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor and a full HD display. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. It's powerful, flexible, and ready to go.
Acer Iconia. Fast tweet, cool moves, step a pick, we groove, web slit, post quick, friends laughing, we click. Follow me, let's wipe bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, let's wipe bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me wherever we go. Follow me wherever we go. Vibes, let those big friends laugh and we click. Follow me, follow me, go. Follow me, follow me, go. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia.
Sleek, swift, neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Lightweight game, heavy on mic. Work off late, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift neo, oh, that's how we roll. Click, sleek, swift, neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know.
Swift Neo. You feel me?
Lightweight game, heavy on mic. Work out, play, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift Neo, oh. Let it lead, let it grow. Turn it with every tap and glow. Swift Neo, that's how we roll.
On stage, vibes up, you feel me? Swift Neo.
The all-new Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor. Enjoy sharp visuals on a full HD display with a flexible 180-degree hinge. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. Powerful, flexible, and ready to go. The Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor and a full HD display. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. It's powerful, flexible, and ready to go.
Acer Iconia. Fast street, cool moves, step a pick, we groove, wipe slit, post quick, friends laughing, we click. Follow me, let's wipe and roll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, let's wipe and roll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me wherever we go. Follow me wherever we go. Vibes like those big friends laughing, we click. Follow me, follow me, go. Follow me, follow me, go. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia.
Sleek, swift, nails, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Lightweight game, heavy all night. Work off late, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift neo, oh, that's how we roll. Click, sleek, swift, neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Swift neo,
You feel me?
lightweight game, heavy all night. Work off late, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift neo, oh. Let it lead, let it grow. Turn it with every tap and glow. Swift neo, that's how we roll.
On set, vibes up, you feel me? Swift Neo.
The all-new Acer Aspire Lite. With up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor. Enjoy sharp visuals on a full HD display. With a flexible 180-degree hinge. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. Powerful, flexible, and ready to go. The Acer Aspire Lite, with up to 13th Gen Intel Core i7 processor and a full HD display. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. It's powerful, flexible, and ready to go.
Acer Iconia. Fast tweet, cool moves, snap a pic, we groove, web slit, post quick, friends laughing, we click. Follow me, let's ride bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, let's ride bankroll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Acer Predator League 2026 India Qualifiers. We're now jumping back into the action the last couple of days, ladies and gentlemen, the last two actually, before the grand finals. Players are already initialized. Now, it's going to be your boy, Aggressive, with Oro on my side, bringing you all the action here for today. And I'm excited for this one here, Oro, because it's going to be one banger of a series that we all have to consider. Small little delays here and there, but honestly, these players and these teams have really proven to us that they are here to try and take this win, and they are gunning to take that first initial spot for that grand finals. Don't forget, this is the upper bracket finals, ladies and gentlemen. That means that whoever wins here will have that one-way straight ticket towards that grand final stage. They know for a fact that there's a lot on the line here. They know for a fact that whoever gets there first can keep their secrets while they are moving forward. But we do have to talk about the journey, jumping on down over into the formats, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about exactly what the teams had to fight for. The open qualifiers, the playoffs, and of course the grand finals, Oro. The journey has been long, but both of these teams, they have made it to the finish line, almost to that finish line.
Yeah, we have our top four, right? We started off with the playoffs, the top 8 teams, where 4 have already been eliminated. And by the 10th of September, which is tomorrow, we will have the 2 grand finalists who will battle out in a LAN scenario. And for that slot of that Asia Pacific, and will represent our country next year in Acer Predator League 2026. This is the India Qualifiers which is happening. And for the viewers who are just joining in, I would like to tell you that we have our top 4s ready. As Aggressive mentioned, that today it's going to be GGEZ going up against S8UL. It is the upper bracket final, but other than that, we also have a lower bracket matchup which is going to come up in the evening, which is Asterix going up against Rat Syndicate, and that is going to be an interesting matchup to watch out for as well. But for the time being, GGEZ and S8UL, we will have to focus on these 2 teams who will make it to the LAN. Whoever wins it directly qualifies, Aggressive, and that is going to be an interesting matchup to watch out for. And now the situation is GGEZ at this point of time, it's going to be a little bit concerned, because when you look at S8UL and the players and the kind of caliber they have and the experience they have, Aggressive, and also to the viewers, I mean, addressing the fact that they are the favorites in this match is not going to be, something which I should be shy of, and anybody should be shy of saying it, right?
Yeah, because like them being the favorites is like generally what you should be expecting too, right? Because they just have such a big names on their roster, especially when you look at the map selection as well. It's kind of skewed in the favor of S8UL a little bit too much. S8UL, again, a brand new team that has recently come together again, forming a superstar level squad. Now, that's kind of the thing. They're a brand new squad. GGEZ, they're also a brand new squad, but they also have very experienced players on that team. But S8UL, they have something more than what the members of GGEZ have. They have a squad that have been playing together for a pretty long time in other roster, and they've just changed organizations, moving in, I do believe, only 2 players coming in as an addition while keeping the core 3 still available. So this is going to be a game of synergy going up against talent. GGEZ, they have an incredible amount of on that team, especially with the Vibor leading the charge and being the team IGL and everything. But S8UL, they have Hawks, man. I think that, yeah, we talk a lot about Venka, we talk a lot about Helif, but for me personally, Hawks is that superstar level player that keeps on going under the radar way too often. Yeah, he plays on that, but when he starts to frag, I don't think I've seen anyone perform better than Hawks when it comes down to the moment-to-moment decision making.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Aggressive. I mean, and the way he has been, IGLing the team off lately, the team has been doing wonders, and hopefully, he could be the one who could take S8UL and India to represent our slot in the Asia Pacific and Acer Predator in Acer Predator League 2026. But with that being said, I'm just happy to see the map veto. I was like bored now, with start things off with Bind and Lotus, and then jumping onto the third map, which we haven't seen most oftenly. Mostly teams have won in a 2-0 fashion, but this is a game which can be pretty neck to neck, because GGEZ is also having some good amount of players who have the experience. Like, for example, if we pick up DC in one hand, we have Vibor in one hand, who was, I mean, the clutch master for Velocity for a while. I mean, for a while, he was the most
True.
trusted sentinel and controller main, who used to, with his set plays and with his brain game and the positionings, he used to, just turn things around. So just hoping to see him, back in the server is just, making me happy. Along with that, we have Kohli over there. So there was I know we spoke about a lot of tournaments happening in and around this qualifiers, right? So Kohli and I think Techno was a part of the team which was known as Chilcord, where Helef and these boys were playing together. So now they have gone back to their set teams, and this is something which is going to be interesting to watch, because I've seen Kohli, and he was a find back then, and I sometimes feel that he has never showcased his true potential. Maybe he has been waiting for that right time to come. This 2025, this qualifiers can be the moment and the tournament where he can actually outperform and showcase that we can upset a big team, and this might be on the cards.
Absolutely. Like, Kohli is a grinder as a player, right? The fact that he
Yeah,
has that urgency as a player to really put in the hours and really put in the effort to fine tune his craft. Not a lot of players are willing to
Hmm.
put in that level of hard work. It doesn't matter if you're extremely talented in any particular esport. If you do not put in the time to fine tune your craft, a person that is going to be a lot more hardworking will overtake you eventually. And every single one of
True.
these players, not every single one, most of them have a pretty good understanding of that ideology, that they will work hard, they will push past their limits to get to
Hmm.
that point. And if you're going to be representing your country, if you're going to be representing India in that global stage for the Asia Pacific Predator League, then you're gonna have to go the distance, right? You
Yeah.
cannot stagnate yourself into the positions that you are already in. This entire qualifiers is made for you to realize that. It's made for everyone to finally understand that, hey, if we want to represent our country, then we have to break past our limits. For this particular map, already you can see that S8UL, they're not going to be going for the much more simplistic composition. They already have something in mind. They're going in for the new meta ascent comp, being the Deadlock and the Cypher with the Euro. And of course, GGEZ, much more of the try to test things. They are still a brand new squad. They are still a team that is trying to figure out their nooks and crannies on what they want to do. But that's kind of the problem, right? This old
Yeah.
lineup that you have right now, it's not going to work that well when you're reaching to that global stage. And they need to start figuring
Hmm.
it out that, yeah, it may work here. not going to say that
Yep.
GGEs are not going to be able to take this victory here. But when you're trying to get to that next point in your career as esports professionals, especially in Valorant,
Hmm.
you need to keep up to date with the meta. And S8UL, as a team, they're proving that they're trying to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, S8UL have started things off not in the correct fashion. Venka there finds the trade onto DC. Helef, he's onto that deadlock, and this is going to be an interesting thing to watch out for. He's usually on that initiator. And the last time they played Ace and they lost him. And they lost that final as well, Aggressive. You remember that, right? We were on the desk at that moment. Techno finds one. Techno is a man who you should be fearful of, because he tends to create value. This paranoia connects, and paranoia, along with that, swing from Techno and Helef, created value. Even though GGEZ could find the first pick, but they couldn't manage to convert the round because the execution was super good from SA2L.
Absolutely. That overall execution really just gave a point where we could always remember. For the members of GGEZ, good try here, especially with Trinity getting that first initial opening. Wasn't really expected, and the fact that Trinity was able to get it immediately put a little bit of a damper in their overall plans here. But now, jumping on back towards the game in this particular round, the buy is not looking that clean for them, but information galore, as Machiavelli is going to be able to find out multiple players. Holtz immediately just shuts down his own counterpart. Kohli takes a backseat. Not really much that you can do, but that's the information game now being taken off of the table. GGEZ will have a pretty rough time trying to sniff out exactly where the members of S8UL are going. Possible B-side hit also coming in. They're trying to bait out as many of the rotations as they possibly can, and RVK actually sold this fake. Wait a minute. RVK knee-deep in enemy territory, and the A-side just completely ripe for the open.
DC almost, but then RVK, we know
Finds two.
what kind of a player he is with that sheriff in his hand. SA2L plus Helef will plant the spike. He did manage to put out the barrier mesh, but Venka is just waiting and he will clear things out. Hawks did also find Trinity. And it's an easy double up. They have doubled up the score. And GGEZ now. This is going to be the interesting part of the match where, we already talked about the kind of agent compositions they have gone up with that KO, the Jet. And technically, see, we have said that Jet seems like a pretty old agent right now. There are much better agents in the compositions, given by Riot, which you can use. But, if you want that operator, maybe Chamber could have been a better option. With that being said, now what you have picked, you have to make the best possible situation out of it. Kohli want to reveal mid. Nobody is there. They're making a fast execute towards the side. But Venka's position, goodness me, he used TP out. He was saved there, but Kohli is on to 10 HP. He doesn't have the HP left. The board is stuck. Barrier mesh there. RVK finds value with that shot. He always somehow manages to convert one at least before getting taken down. And now, the side is up for grabs. The spike will go down. RVK is already there towards main to control anything coming out from market. Helef playing a little aggressive, but now because of that nade coming in from the KO, he has to play down, but the recon dart. Ooh, it was all timing, but Venka comes in. Now the last man there was Vibhor, but he couldn't make value as well because Helef was present from the second lane. He converted that pick as well. So the 3 rounds pretty easily coming up for S8UL right now. And this is something which we did expect, but I at least expected some kind of retaliation from GGEZ, which has not been showcased till now.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough showing for the members of GGEZ. But what will not be rough for you guys back at home, ladies and gentlemen, are your bank accounts. If you check out the links down below in the description, because if you want to get yourself a gaming laptop, then the Predator Helios Neo 16 Slim AI is a really good option for you to get here, because the Predator Helios Neo 16 Slim AI is the thinnest Predator that they have built, crafted for gamers and creators who need full-scale performance in a sleek, ultra-portable body. Don't let the size of the laptop fool you, though, because even inside there, they have a lot of power with high-end performance CPUs and GPUs and a thermal system that keeps it cool while they're moving, just like the members of GGEZ here. Wait a second, they're turning up the heat in this particular round as the ecos seemingly working wonders for them as the players from S8UL try to rush their way in towards the side, and they will fall because of it. Players now spotted. RVK, none the wiser, gets caught off on an island here. He's not going to be able to survive that one. It's all down to the last 2 players. Vibhor is going to be able to get another one possible. Flawless round to come through for them. Helef none the wiser for it. Gets instantly shut down, and that's the weapons now going in the hands of GGEZ. S8UL, they tried to underestimate their opposition, and they fell flat because of it.
I mean, aggressive. It was Trinity's round, to be specific. Trinity, with that Blade Storm, he created those openings initially. And those 2 picks early on towards the side A was actually the savior of the round. But anyways, this was a thrifty round coming in from GGEZ. Now they can have something. But on the other end, they have Neural Theft, they have From the Shadows, and also the ultimate Annihilation ready for Helef. He's suppressed with the 0 point being connected towards A main. Now they're walking towards Catwalk and trying to go towards shot. Makavi, the flash will come in, but he's alone. There's no one to take it straight. Oh, okay, Trinity comes in, but then he finds one, and along with DC, Venka, he needs to have his gun out. He might find Vibhor. Vibhor gets Venka, but Hope trains him out. Trinity, this time he won't make any kind of mistake. Comes up for the sweep, and suddenly GGEZ has started correcting those shots, and they're expecting the movements. They're not just wanting to sit back. This push. At least somebody should have been waiting at tiles for the market push. Nobody was watching market, and that's why Trinity, was given that freedom to come in and just get those pick and just push in. So this is something which S8UL has to be careful of as well.
Yeah, one of these rounds just really came down to them not really understanding that with a double sentinel composition, you have that one opportunity to leave one of your sentinels just out in the open like that. But Trinity having the brilliance of utilizing this one op in his hands. Finds value, immediately shuts down one of the more bigger problem childs for the opponents here. RVK with the fast swing, but up against Trinity. It's not that easy now, is it? Venka does find the catch over onto one player at the bare minimum, flashes out just to try and stop anyone from swinging in towards that angle. Still alive and kicking, he's the only one with a weapon for the team, so it's still going to be difficult. Hoax needs to try and make a run for it. His position is already revealed. Short has now been compromised. It's GGEZ. Now I'm playing this one a lot more slower than what is generally expected, but Trinity gave away a little bit too much towards the team here. Clearance to already come through. Back end the side will be taken over. They've already spotted out on one of the players. They know the angle, but Benka immediately uses the timing coming in from the Into the Shadows to its fullest caliber. Poor old Vibor was none the wiser for it. And now it's going to be the last two players. Good mid-round adaptations coming through from the members of S8UL to take that hit. Small missed out shots from Venka, but that's completely fine because his last two players can still try and get this win.
Techno's position is revealed. And there is a flash available. The flash comes in, but Techno was ready and holds with his Hunter's Fury there. He finds DC as well. Even though the operator came in handy, but the way they handled the round, just these kind of moments. And you mentioned it right, Aggressive, that they have that double sentinel, which just helps them to lurk around, and that extra cushioning is there. And then GGEZ knows that they cannot easily flank this team, and that is why they have been holding. And then that operator from Trinity is a save. But the way Venka played out that round towards that mid-market, actually from Pizza, he pushed in and caught that Omen, off guard using that owl drone. Nobody was supporting him, but Trinity, position is revealed. This time he might find, but he didn't find value. He's on to 10 HP. One spam and he can be taken out. He has that big gun once again. RBK. Flashed over there. There's one player playing from both, that is Vibhor, and he is stuck, and Venka will find him. Side is up for grabs pretty quickly, like a B default push coming in from S8UL. Barrier mesh placement, of course, was perfect, but that has been broken off. DC gets Venka. From the shadows. Operator is still active for Trinity. He will want to find someone. He has walked in towards side. They don't know. Hawks have no clue that he has walked in close. But Hawks finds Trinity. The 5th round coming in for S8UL. Looks like...
I forgot to unmute my mic, as per usual. The old caster's lifestyle when you forget to unmute the microphone. But as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that Trinity just didn't have as much urgency as you would have expected, right? Trying to go in and maybe take that fight for his team, but he slowed down over to a crawl a little bit too early there, and that's what caused a lot of these problems. Trinity needed to be that first line of entry to make it happen, but the fact that he just didn't really try to take a lot of more of those active trades with his teammates. He tried to hold on to one particular line that would have been a problem for them. But the player from back of side being Hoax, he had that understanding that, hey, I shouldn't be the one to swing here. I should always just sit here, make my presence known, that at least someone's going to look at me. And in that moment of chaos, RVK just came alive, got those 2 frags. This was a very smart round played out by the members of S8UL. They understood the weaknesses and, of course, the fact that there was an operator on the opponent's side. If anyone is able to catch the attention of that operator, then you know that that entire postman will become a lot more easier for them to hold on to. Trinity should have been the one to be able to read this and just try to help out his teammates a little bit more, because the operator is really good when you're trying to take a lot of those active trades, but when you're trying to break into the site for a retake, this is where the operator's weakness lies. You can no longer hold down on an angle. You need to be a lot more active with it and just try to find those trades where your teammates are guaranteeing you information. And in this particular round, that just didn't happen. In S8UL, they're just leading away these rounds from the members of GGEZ. Unless they get a quick grasp on what's going on next, this is going to be very difficult because don't forget, they're still running a double sentinel composition, which will get a lot more stronger as soon as the defensive side rolls around.
Correct. Absolutely. And I mean, I was about to say the same thing, aggressive, but then the way they have been using GGEZ, Machiavelli, specifically on that KO, right? There's a lot they can do with that KO and with the jet coming in, but they have not used it to the fullest. Specifically with the flashes, we know that the jet dash can be used in a much better way. Trinity, of course, on that operator, he did, find. He did manage to get some value, but then not round-winning situations. The impact has to be pretty well. Last time he had the Blade Storm, the round win went in favor of GGEZ. Of course, he has activated it earlier in the round. They have the null command ready. They have the lockdown. It's going to be pretty difficult for S8UL if they do not, play on picks. Looks like they're playing this, wanting to play this slow. They wanted to locate where the Jet's position is, expecting it towards A, and that is why nobody has walked in close. They're just holding. They're just being patient. They want GGEZ to be impatient. What they have been doing. They want them catch. Okay, now finally the owl drone comes in, which will of course reveal the position. Will it? No, I don't think so. Only the Omen's position is revealed. Trinity still holding the A main area. He has walked in close. Venka destroys the turret.
This is
but
bad.
now Vibho, gonna be a timing. No, deadlock is gone out. That is hell left. But wait, Venka has gone in. It's a 1v1 aim duel. The paranoid has been connected. But Vibho we are talking about, and we know what he can do, and he gets value on Venka as well. RVK and Techno, but from the jump from DC, he comes in and he slaps RVK. Now he has a gun. He has the gun to deal with. He has covered one side. Techno, he has to be very careful. Again, DC finds one, and Trinity comes in for Hoax as well. Third round for GGEZ. Oh, I mean, DC, he shouldn't have been allowed to connect that shot. Poor RVK. Just wasted. His own mid is kind of.
It's a reality.
We always say that.
Yeah, true. There are some universes where stuff like this is bound to happen, but sadly, it's this one. Yikes, RVK. The Sheriff Demon seems to have gotten exercised here instead. GGEZ reigning supreme for these last couple of rounds, but they need to be careful because these angles are still quite dangerous for them to fight into. The one-way smoke is going to give them a slight bit of space to play for, but even then, they can't really give away too much information. Kohli up and ready with the shock darts here. Good amount of damage being done already. RVK can't really play as aggressively as he generally wants to. Positions yet to be revealed. As you can tell, these fights being taken by GGEZ really just fall into the wayside. Because now they're playing it slow in S8UL. They're building a strong presence towards mid. They want a B-side execute, and this split could just work.
Over there.
Okay. Trinity might have spotted someone. Expecting someone close, of course. Hell left towards Pizza. Now the sounds have been given. Kohli finds Venka. He pushes through the smoke, but Techno, he slaps Trinity over there. But Kohli is still there towards side, and they are pushing in, and it's going to be completely dismantling for S8UL. They didn't have the weaponry. Hawks needs to find Vibhor first. Turret placement is wrong again. They couldn't spot him. Oh, Hawks finds value. But DC was there. The correct moment to take that trade. Now, finally, GGEZ, are just waiting patiently. We saw how the A-main peaks came in with that KO flash, supporting the Jets' movement, and Trinity was also expecting the grab net early on in the round so that they can catch anything. But he expected that. The read is good from GGEZ, and now they're trying to get back into the groove, and which is turning out to be good because they know for a fact that S8UL has a double central setup which is going to be difficult to counter once they go back to on the defensive half. And now, I mean, What do you expect a comfortable half score for S8UL? I think they have already achieved that. They needed 5 rounds and they haven't got it already.
This is just gonna be another one of those situations now. S8UL, they're finally showcasing that these rounds are gonna be a little bit more difficult for them, but overall, it does really come down to the timing here. Already, Trinity does get spotted. He nearly got away with murder there. If the Cypher tried to peek out a little bit too much towards the left or towards the right. But a good lurk position already being given. RVK is going to be able to find that first initial catch. Too many players for DC to try and lock onto. 3 players already just rushing in towards the side. Venka knows the position off towards the last. As Vebor, he has no idea what's waiting for him on the either side of this. Techno on 1 and Venka right behind. 4-6 now. S8UL instantly, they lose out on a couple of these rounds, but they're able to answer back in kind. That was good overall utility usage to take over mid control. The fact that the Owl drone came out, put RVK in a position where he can just lurk up into mid that deep as well and take pocket control just shows that S8UL, they have this entire map down to a system. And GGEZ, they just fell for its trap.
I mean, S8UL is a close-knit group, right? They are always play on trades, play on contact. And Ascent is a strong or a strength for them. That is why they have picked up this map. That's why, I mean, the last time when I saw them playing on this map and when they lost, it was not a pretty shocker of a situation. It was Asterix though, who they were facing. This time it's GGEZ. They were much more coordinated. Techno, he needs to look down and he finds DC. For a moment, DC had the advantage, but he didn't have the weaponry to find value. He only had a classic, but ooh, Venka saves himself. But look at RVK, he has walked in, and of course that was not expected from Trinity. But Kohli finds both of them. He finds Helif and Hope. Now the spike has been dropped. His position is revealed. Dimensional drift being used. And
Body
now
blocking him.
both the positions. The spike has been retrieved though. He will want to safely go towards B because that's where. Oh my God, Techno! Wait, where is he waiting? Look at his position. I mean, this late in the round, he's waiting at spawn. This is something which I don't think the Sova would have even expected in his dreams.
Our spike carrier is spike down A.
That's kind of the unorthodox playstyle that the members of S8UL have. Those mid-round adaptations that this team is able to do is what really gives them that significant of an edge. And think about it, he also used Into the Shadows to get into that position, right? The fact that he knew exactly where to land, utilizing his ultimate to just throw his opponents off, that moment-to-moment decision-making doesn't really happen for everyone. But for Techno, it's just another day in the office as Trinity now needs to step up to the table up against RVK for this position. Bait's already being given. RVK, he knew what to expect. He knew that there was a possible bait being done. No player would play that close on the angle, jiggle, and then run away if he doesn't have another player close by to try and take that fight. True. Trinity, he already used the tailwind to try and get himself out of that situation, expecting RVK to be closer and possibly peek out in towards the angle, but instead, they've not done so. Not having that utility, Trinity needs to try to instantly walk away from this fight. Calls are already being made that they're going in for a very slow present split play over onto either side of the map. Control's there, but the thing is, Vebor, he's playing off of the side. They have the Killjoy lockdown to play for a full-scale retake, and that's exactly the plan here. They don't want to try and hold on to any of these sides, because as long as Vebor is alive, they can easily hold on to these engagements.
I mean, that's the annihilation out of the picture. Now, Hunter's Fury being utilized by Kohli. Will he find value, though? But there, the problem is RVK has walked in close, and he's towards market. Position is real, and of course, Kohli did expect him, but that was too late. The recovery wasn't good. DC is expected here. Now, the second lane player will obviously find DC. RVK. And that is again RVK finding value. You said that Vibor needs to be alive, but then the other players also needs to be alive because if that lockdown is going to be used, and along with that null command, which is now the only ultimate that can be used. Trinity, he needs to check the corners, right? RVK got PK before he got taken down. 8th round coming in for S8UL. Complete,
switching sides.
Very disappointing to watch GGEZ. Vibhor had that lockdown for almost 4 rounds, and not a single time he could find something where, out of situation where he could use it to his team's advantage. Right? That is so disappointing to watch. And even the null command that was used at a time where nothing could have been done. It was a usage because it had to be used, and that came in at that moment, which is something was pretty obvious for S8UL to pick up.
That's just the reality of the situation sometimes now, isn't it? S8UL as a team, especially with RVK being allowed to lurk up that deep into enemy lines, these are some things that should just never happen. In this case, you can tell exactly why. Venka now needs to step up to the table. Already first initial kills coming in. Venka, the fact that he just spotted out a pixel. He only spotted a pixel when he was swinging out, and he already found that first initial headshot. Stuff like this is just impossible for everyone else, but for Venka, the young talent that just keeps on giving, everything is probable for him. 5v4 now going into this particular round. GGEZ down a man. That's Trinity as well. They don't really have a strong form of entry to try and take this fight, but who needs a strong form of entry when you have 2 players who can really step onto the plate here? Good initial shots already being taken. Helep in position. Had the grav net, maybe utilize it a little bit too early. 40 seconds on the cooldown for that. He just needs to try and survive and wait for his teammates to come in and try to give him some form of backup. But the problem is there's too many different openings that they have to worry about. There's going to be coming in towards mid, or there could be a hit over into the opposite side. Helef needs to find 1 kill and immediately get himself out of here.
Left.
These positions not looking that good. Vibhor on the angle. Vibhor, he misses the shot, and that's gonna put it down over into a 3v3 situation. Pokes on the sidelines, but he misses the opportunity. Kohli is gonna be able to shut down both. And this is where S8UL already fallen for that blunder.
Yeah. The spike is planted, 3 players to deal with. RVK's positioning is expected. Look at Machiavelli, he's watching the same kind of angle, and he has been dinked already. Nothing much he could do with that RVK. And he gets taken down pretty easily. The 5th round comes in easy for GGEZ. I mean, not pushing in through the door and and just rotating from heaven through to gardens was a better decision, right? Because a better mesh was placed and Helef was expected. Once Helef took down Vibhor, I guess over there, it was Vibhor who was eliminated. Yeah, it was Vibhor who was eliminated. I thought that this is under control for S8UL, but then the trades were pretty solid from DC and Kohli, and I think those 2 players were the fulcrum of the last round. Now let's see how they deal with this. RVK once again on that Sheriff. We know what he can pull things up. Trinity is just walking in towards mid freely. 0 point being used. No one there. No one is there to close. They have left out this angle free. They've given up. Knowing the fact that they have a double initiator composition, Trinity is expected now. Venka! Okay, Venka couldn't connect a shot even, and Trinity manages to take him down pretty easily. Can RVK find a value? And fragment being used, and Machiavelli will find RVK with the fragment itself. Kohli gets techno. Can one player be picked up? No is the answer. Only Helef is the man surviving alone. Only a classic in his hand. Nothing much, of course, is expected, but then, he did manage to get a Sheriff, but then Trinity shuts him down immediately. The 6th round comes up. I mean, for S8UL, for their side, I mean, they didn't have the weaponries to go with. They were only on classics. But yeah, they could have a read now what GGEZ is gonna do, because they have left out mid because they did not have the utilities. They did not have the trap wires or the sonic sensors to place, but now they will have them. This is going to be the interesting part, because GGEZ are going to be on their bonus buy. If they win this, we'll see a numbers equalization coming in pretty quickly.
Take flight.
I mean, equalization of the overall numbers will be quite a necessity for them as well. But these rounds are never going to be that simple as Techno actually is able to survive. Catches out DC really early on. That's the attacker side of Smoke already being taken off of the table. One by one, they're just going to keep on falling if they're not careful. Trinity wants to take an aggressive deal to maybe find something for his team, a singular trade, but I mean, that's going to be quite risky. Smoke dissipates now. Trinity steps up to the table once again. Techno in position, gives away the fight. He hears the sounds, I do believe, of a player that could be playing towards the main sideline, spots him out, and just needs to try and play this one slow. He can't really play aggressive for the engagement. RVK is going to be able to shut down another one. One by one, the members of S8UL, they keep on taking out these players on these isolated 1v1s. I don't see a universe where GGEZ are going to be able to turn this one back. Helif, another free kill for him. Down over to a 2v5. GGEZ, you're spread across the map a little bit too thin. You don't have a singular plan to go for your team.
30 seconds
If your
left.
plan is to find one singular frag for your squad and then open up the map, then you need to play together, because playing solo is not going to work up against a team of S8UL's caliber.
True. Machiavelli finds Halif over there. Techno, he knows his position to be, but the flash will come in. He will get. Oh, he almost got Kohli as well, but Kohli doesn't have much HP left. Venka now. Venka will finish things off. Gets the 9th round for S8UL. Yeah, you mentioned the fact that, you know, these isolated fights aren't helping GGEZ, and the fact that they have a lot of information to work with. This is something which is like pretty underutilization of a KO and a Sova. It's quite valuable, right, as an agent. We have seen in the past that people have gone on ASIN with 3 initiators as well. But that is something which has worked is also. But then, with the information you have, you also need those executions, which is not happening for the time being. 0 point now. Okay, they have the information. Look at how the rotations have come in. They are expecting this B push from GGEZ. The shock dart, of course, will destroy all the utilities of the Cypher. Recon dart over there, but Hunter's Fury committed early on in the round. The paranoia, everything utilized. They just gain control and it is working. They have the side control. Numbers game lost. But Helef is still alive and he has the site. The barrier mesh does not allow 2 players to go in. Helef finds Vibhor as well. And
Oh,
then
no.
one more. DC was in the corner. And DC from the first lane finds both of them. What were they doing? I mean, I think for a second somebody did manage to slack over there, and I think that was Helef. He turned for a bit, and both of them just stopped looking towards main or the first lane, expecting that no one was there. Just look at the instant replay. Like Helef and Techno did all things correctly.
One enemy
Look at the way.
remaining.
Yeah, both of them just turned, and that's the timing what DC got.
I think it's because of barrier mesh that they had that small false sense of security that there is no way that DC's going to be peeking from that angle. But instead, DC, understanding that the timing was there for him, was able to find such a good catch for his team. From a 69 down over to a 79 instead, ladies and gentlemen, the members of GGEZ. They're still in this particular game to try and win it here. Only 2 rounds separates them from an equalization, so they need to be careful of what they do next. RVK just slap bang in the open. Perfect off angle for his team to really play for. He's a bit worried about a player that could be coming in from B main. With no one really fighting for that timing. Good God, RVK, known as the Sheriff Demon for a reason. Perfect shot here already from the mid side. Slap to the face, and that's going to be a good call coming in. It's S8UL now looking to be in a little bit more of a dangerous situation. Hulks missed out on his opportunity. Couldn't really find the headshot. And one by one, they just keep on falling. Not much that they can do on this particular eco round because the weapons are, of course, stronger in the hands of GGEZ, but maybe one more kill is what they're going to be able to get, and yes, they do. And if the members of S8UL are able to drop maybe 1 or 2 more guns, it could work, but Kohli is not going to make that.
Yeah. Right here. Still 9-8. GGEZ has not let this game, you know, move away from them. They are keeping the game in their reach, which is a good thing, right? Aggressive. Looking at the fact that this is a map where the other team is pretty strong, and that is why they have picked it. They're wanting, even if they are losing the first map, they have already showed up a good fight, which is something is at least needed. They have a chance of winning this also. but it has to be worked out because this is something which S8UL would know, and they have always been a team who can, change things up pretty quickly. Techno is waiting. Venka now brings up the operator. Trinity gets taken out pretty easily. Oh, that was a pretty harsh peek. To peek in raw without any utils being used is something, pretty hard as an attacker. They have 2 ultimates. They have the null command. They have from the shadows. But look at RVK. He is sitting deep towards mid. And he's already out from tiles. Machiavelli is expecting a push. I think it's better to save this weaponry. Then of course Venka finds one more and TP is back. Kohli, will he expect? I don't think so. He will expect.
Spike
And he
down.
turns. Oh wait.
Up.
Did RVK use it
Completely
pretty
unnecessary.
early? Yeah, exactly. That was not needed. But DC's position is known, of course.
30 seconds left.
So there is already RVK who has grabbed him for space, but DC finds him.
Oh no.
This is something which was not expected. The spike is obviously because he had to retrieve, and I don't think from the shadows was to be used in this round. So DC just went in for the swing and he got taken out. But okay, 10th round comes in. So S8UL becomes the first team to hit the double-digit marker, 2 away from match point. And of course, they would need those 3 rounds. They do not want GGEZ to get any more because we always know when the other team is closing down or inching towards the double-digit marker, there's always an overtime on the cards. And that is something S8UL wouldn't want, of course, because knowing the fact that this is their map pick, they would want to finish things up pretty quickly and then move towards heaven, right? Aggressive.
Spike down mid.
Yeah, exactly. And all of this really just came down to the last couple of moments as well, because the way that the members of GGEZ tried to take this fight again, they just didn't really have the utility usage that was necessary to make this one happen. You could tell that these fights being taken by them were just, again, really dry, I would say, because you have Machiavelli to give you a couple of set plays, especially with those flashes, right? Why aren't you using a lot of the much more famous KO flash lineups to give you a little bit of an easier engagement on the players that are fighting from the side of A main? You know that S8UL are playing a lot more aggressively than they generally should. If you know that they're playing aggressive, then utilize your own utility accordingly. It's just such a big question mark in the way that GGEZ are trying to play a couple of their rounds that it's not really boding that well for them. So I do see that, again, unpause has been taken as S8UL. A little bit of a momentum break for them, but honestly speaking, with Venka still alive here with that op in his hands, I don't think they're worried about much. They can do whatever the hell they want on the server still, because this one player is just going to be that server admin that GGEZ, they need to sniff out and try to figure out exactly how to try and circumvent his positioning.
Okay, they have the blade storm activated.
This is so aggressive.
Venka is being pretty bold, of course, because of the recon. He had to fall back. The dash and the updraft both are saved. Oof, LF.
You should run.
Saved by a whisker. The lockdown being committed. Now they can also use the null command. They have the from the shadows. Oh my god! Through the spam. Why is this happening? I mean, these unnecessary moments in the game for GGEZ are just killing those moments. And now the barrier mesh plays. DC doesn't have HP to work with. He's down to 2 HP. The fragment now, he has to push in. DC is still alive, and how is he alive? And he finds 2. He finds 2. Venka comes in with the board straight there. Now the dimensional drift is, of course, is going to be a lot valuer, because the way he's going to go in, the information is going to be revealed out. Techno is taken out. DC didn't have the HP as well. Kohli, he's on a stinger, but then he missed out. Oh, Venka, he recovers well with the shotty. He will go on to defuse the spike as well, but then the 11th round comes in for S8UL. Good try. GGEZ. They had everything in the kitty to get this round converted in their favor, but they still didn't manage. First of all, Trinity getting spammed out. He just should have been patient. These moments would be pretty costly for them.
These rounds have just gotten rougher and rougher at every single second. GGEZ Them losing out on players this early on is another big reason for a lot of their losses. It just comes down to understanding what your opponents are trying to do. They want to play aggressive to try and get that first kill. You need to be a lot more active in the way that you're utilizing the recon abilities that you do have for your team. I don't know what the game plan is for them here. They're just face checking a lot of these angles, and that's just not going to work for you. Finally, we do see the drone utilization coming in just to try and catch out exactly where this operator could be. Oaks immediately does his own little bit of a drone play, forces all of them back. They're making the members of GGEZ feel a lot more uncomfortable, and because of the investments of utility already being done, you can tell that the aggression towards the A side has already been showcased. Look at the way that the members of S8UL have already adapted. They've taken full control of A main, understanding that short is now compromised. There's no way they're going to be able to take this fight, take a swing, and take that trade, because that's going to be the 1-for-1 that they expected. The Cypher's utility now no longer being that useful, but Hoax with the Allfather in hand can still be a nuisance and a problem. Kohli's positioning completely unknown. I don't think that Hoax is going to be ready for this one, but will be Helep, who should be the one to be ready for the trade, but he misses the opportunity. And Kohli, he gets away with murder. He actually finds 2 here. RBK's position also revealed down over to a 3 versus 2 situation. RBK needs to try and survive for as long as he possibly can. The trade needs to come in his favor. But look at Venka for the positioning, beats the timing for at least 1. But Kohli again slips through the cracks, even with low HP. He still finds the trades. And of course, he finds value. A second win for the members of GGEZ, as 9-11 could just be happening for them.
Yep, it's going to be pretty difficult for RVK to pull things back. They're just holding Vibhor swings and confirms the kill onto RVK. As expected, the 9th round comes in for GGEZ. But imagine if Kohli would have been eliminated there. He had the Spike aggressive, and Spike would have been dropped towards heaven. There was nobody behind him to trade that. So Helef should have been the one to get the trade. Everything was correct until this moment. These 2 picks were pretty costly. This should have been pretty easily cleaned up by Helef actually. But a rare miss from him.
Time to jump.
That's okay. Let's see, they have the Annihilation. They have from the Shadows and the Hunter's Fury now. Venka is wanting to push, of course. Okay, that was a fake TP. Just to ask some questions, and now the push is expected. Techno is expecting the Omen to be on top, but he isn't there. Oh no, the sound has been given. DC will know. The good thing is they haven't pushed. The information is there, and they're expecting again players to come towards A, and they have also stacked up this side. Makaveli gets Venka. Both the close player angles have been cleared out. Helef, he also finds nothing. Trinity was pretty proactive over there. Hoax, only man with the Vandal at this point of time. Can he find anything? There's no point, of course, of the Hunter's Fury now, because it's going to be difficult. Numbers advantage isn't there. Drone, of course, is going to be destroyed. Information there. Now RVK, he's still holding, expecting somebody to come late towards mid, but everybody is towards the side, and RVK comes back with his IGL. Question is, will they want to, commit towards the side? Okay, hopes. Oh, okay. RVK. I mean, I thought that maybe RVK would try to get in some exit frags, but folks wanted to save. But then they still have the economy. The 10th round comes in. S8UL have not been allowed to run away with this game. They started things pretty well, with the scoreline of 5-1, 4-1 actually, not 5-1. But then GGEZ have somehow managed to be in this game for a long time. 10-11 isn't out of reach. 1 round and the scores will level up, and which will mean the panic situation should start, because these are those moments in Valorant, when we think that the game can be harsh. It's pretty harsh for you, but Venka, he has walked in so much, and it was looking pretty unnecessary for Kohli to peek from there without any utility. Hoax uses the Hunter's Fury. Numbers aren't in favor. Venka, he has the operator. Will he find value is the question. Flashpoint will be used, not anything over there. But then Venka is, of course, taken out. Hooks did not get much other than one. And now the trade game, which was the strength of S8UL, is not looking pretty stronger at this point of time, because of which the scoreline says 11-11 aggressive.
Things are getting a lot more closer than what we expected originally now, didn't we? Even though Venka got that first initial opener, it just didn't matter as much because the shots were just not connecting. They were making mistakes and they were being caught off guard. The members of GGEZ, they are putting in the pressure. And the members of S8UL, they're crumbling under it. The hydraulic press is now pressing down upon the throats of S8UL. GGEZ, knowing that they now have the advantage, need to play this one in a very timely fashion. RVK's positions already revealed. They know that the Cypher's playing towards the B side. Not really the best of sides for them to take, so that's why they're trying to push towards mid, expecting the different positions. They do have a crossfire set up, but because of the weaker weapons, they need to land their shots. Venka can't really miss the opportunity. This is a tough position for them to be in, but Techno is going to be good for one kill. At the bare minimum, Venka's not going to be able to find the instantaneous trade, but still, he has an opportunity to go in for the shot. He misses the chance, and this is what's going to make them bleed. That could have been a 1 for 2. That could have been the man advantage going in their favor, but GGEZ missed out on the opportunity. Helep needs to be the one to come alive, but again, they're missing the shots, ladies and gentlemen. Even when it's served onto them with the silver platter, that Sheriff is the biggest thing. That will, of course, cause problems for them. Hooks' position now revealed. The spams are already going to be coming through. They're again missing out on the opportunities one by one. They do fall, and S8UL, they are bleeding onto the floor. And there's nothing to really stem it now, is there? GGEZ taking another victory for themselves, getting themselves onto match point. This is something that should have never happened because of the lead that S8UL had, but squandering the opportunity. GGEZ, now they're looking to take this victory.
Yeah, RVK finds one, but they don't have the timing. Kohli's just waiting. Kohli, okay. Kohli gets taken out, but it's going to be a 1v2 for RVK. RVK, can he pull things up? He has 5 HP, but Machiavelli is better. Machiavelli converts the match point for GGEZ on S8UL's map pick. As I mentioned earlier, S8UL have, in the recent time, lost on Ascent. And I think this is not going to be a good memory for S8UL, of course, you know, again, in a situation where they can lose. But, okay, I'll ask this. Is it going to be an overtime aggressive?
It better be an overtime, because I think this is going to be the first overtime that we've seen throughout this entire tournament, right? I don't think any other team has really gotten to that overtime stage. Primarily because S8UL have not really been tested that far. But in this scenario, in this case, you can tell that, good God, is it happening in the best possible way. Technical timeout being taken almost immediately by the members of GGEZ just to make sure that everything is working in the way that it should be working. But I'm still like, how do I put it? I'm still at awe in the way that things are working. Most of these rounds really are just coming down to the wire now, aren't they? S8UL, what are you going to try to do to try and get this back for your team? What do you want to do to try and turn things around for your squad in a way that they're going to be able to find victory? They do have 2 big ultimates available with the Neural Theft to just play those mid-rounds better, and the Annihilation to catch anyone trying to be a little bit too overly aggressive when they try to rush in. But they need to find value out of these ultimates quickly. The Annihilation has really been a hit or miss for Helef, even when he was playing this composition in the past. He doesn't really have as much, I would say, experience playing this Deadlock ultimate, because that ult is probably one of the hardest ults to utilize, because there's some really important text that you need to know about this particular ultimate and the way that it works.
True. But in the meanwhile, you guys can check out the Predator Helios Neo 16 AI with Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, 275HX and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 graphics card. The Predator Helios Neo 16 AI tears through games like a panther on the prowl. Experience fluid 240Hz refresh rates that track every move with precision of a hunting hawk. Check the link in the description, and you guys can hop and get a Predator Helios Neo 16 AI. But in the meanwhile, only 1 second on the clock. The round has resumed. This is going to be pretty interesting. Is how S8UL wants to play this. Venka now with the top rate is going to wait towards Kabi. But clearly the stack is there towards B. Looks like they might come in because they have the lockdown. They have the Hunter's Fury. GGEZ also have.
You should run.
Yes, they will use the lockdown pretty early in the round. RVK now has walked in close. Trinity is waiting in the cyber cage. Is RVK. He's waiting. He's being spammed. It's as expected. He isn't allowed. The side is up for grabs. It has to be a retake now from S8UL. How will they want to plan things out? Everybody inside the side except for the man who runs. Okay, no. Everybody towards side only. Trinity walks in close, but slowly finds Helef. Now the dimensional drift comes in. Helef is there, but he got taken out now. The annihilation is out of the picture. The paranoia comes in. And Venka finds one, but still 3-man to deal with. And only the man is Hoax alive. This can be GG's for Team S8UL. But look at Hoax. Hoax is waiting, but Hoax didn't know the position of DC. And DC was there towards board. And GGEZ did not want to drop this map. As and when they went on match point, they closed this map in the very moment which it mattered.
I'm shaken to my core. The fact that they even got this victory just came out of absolutely nowhere. GGEZ, they were struggling from the very beginning of this map. They couldn't really figure out exactly what their strategy is going to be looking like. But right at the very end, they finally were able to tap into exactly why this composition was a meta composition for Ascent for the longest amount of time. They understood their weaknesses. They understood that, hey, we as a team, we are not really utilizing our utility properly, but at the very end, you can tell every single flash that came through, every single recon bolt that was utilized for a particular purpose. And when you are that purposeful with the utility that you want to try and give into any particular round, you are, of course, going to be the ones to win it. Every single bit of the map was really played in the favor of GGEZ in these particular engagements, especially when it came down to understanding what the members of S8UL were trying to do. S8UL, they wanted to play for that first pick. They wanted to wait for GGEZ to try and swing into their open arms like they did in the past, but that dynamic shift in playstyle, that instantaneous change that GGEZ did right after a couple of the pauses that they did take, really put a squander onto all of the plans that S8UL were trying to do. Taking this 11 victory is really a statement being done by them that GGEZ, they're out here to play, and this upper bracket run for them and a one-way ticket to that grand final stage is nothing that they will not be able to get. This team has proven time in and time out that they are the ones to be reckoned with, and to take this team to the max, to the breaking point like this, S8UL, they've shown that the Titans can bleed. And the Davids of this story, now they get 1 point for themselves, but they cannot get overly complacent in the positions that they are in, because still, this is a BO3 series. Consistency will be key as the second map rolls in. I want to see the members of S8UL go in for a little bit of a redraft in what they are trying to do, because they need to adapt. They're pretty much started to do the exact same thing for so many of these rounds that finally GGEZ, they figured them out.
Absolutely. I mean, GGEZ should look at a win now, because if they win things, and they will qualify for LAN, and this is something which they were wanting to do. And as I said, that upsets can happen all the time. And the fact that the last time S8UL played on Ace and they lost it. They lost it too. So this is just turning out to be some horrific memories for S8UL on Ace, and they should just start banning this from now on, because this hasn't paid for them. But now looking things up onto Heaven, will not say that is kind of a map where S8UL doesn't know how to position things, but I feel Helef, not being the Sentinel main, but I mean, I've seen him playing Cypher though in the past, and he has done a better job. But knowing the fact in the last round that the lockdown was there, the Hunter's Fury was there for you know, for the likes of GGEZ. And a similar round happened during the swap, like before the swap. So, I think Helef was playing towards B. And actually, after the swap, my bad on that. I think there was a round where Helef was playing B, and because of his barrier mesh, people couldn't enter the site, and Trinity was spammed out through the smoke. This time they were patient. They let the lockdown be there, and Trinity did not make any mistake. He just was holding the smoke. I think the cyber cage was as and when opened up by RVK. They spammed it, expecting a push coming in, but then they did not find any value. But they had to leave the site and go away, which is a victory. And I mean, with the
True.
kind of ultimates they have, with the kind of utilities they had in the kitty, with the KO flashes, the fragmented Machiavelli was super good. The way I questioned him initially at the beginning, because nothing was happening for him, and the way the solo plays were coming in, because of which the isolations was there, and I think Acer was able to punish them. But then those duo pushes and the combination plays as and when it came out, I think it became much more difficult for S8UL to trade things up. Specifically, also Venka, I think he missed out on a lot of opportunities, right? Because we have seen him; he is better than this. I mean, he's still there, topping the charts, but then we know Venka what he can pull up. But DC, I mean, that guy was on a different level on that Omen. Using the from the shadows, using his TP, using the flashes. On 10 HP, he was still finding 2-2 players, which is something which shouldn't have been allowed. But I mean, there was a round, where he clutched because his position wasn't expected. The barrier mesh was placed in between that door stopper from the market, and he just swinged from first lane, and he got both Helef and RVK, who was just lacking, and they both turned their faces, and he converted value, and the impact he created in this game was superb, right? Aggressive.
Like, absolutely, like stuff like this just happen a little bit too often too, right? You kind of were expecting like, hey, okay, SADUL, they just kept on doing the exact same thing over and over again in so many of their rounds. And think about another thing. There was an annihilation ready in the hands of Helef. He could have played mid. That's kind of the thing that you need to realize, that if you have annihilation ready, you need to be in a central position so that you can help your teammates immediately when a side hit comes in. You knew that Vipor, he had that Killjoy lockdown ready on his team, and you still didn't choose to play towards mid because there's a high possibility of a B take, because one good annihilation and a barrier mesh just cut off the entire team as they're trying to rush in, and then you could have gone in for an earlier B take and stopped them from entering onto the site. As we jump on down over to the MVP, ladies and gentlemen, it's just sad to see that SADUL, they made the most, how do I say, the most common mistake you can ever make whenever you're playing Deadlock in a particular team. And DC just kept on capitalizing on every single goddamn one of those mistakes being present. 257 ACS to have that consistency on a controller while still giving your team ample amounts of utility to make it work. The guy has 15 assists, mind you, and 22 kills. He was a global presence throughout the entire map, and he was one of the main reasons why they were able to win. Consistent performances when it came down to helping his team, and also to find frags and first bloods when it was necessary, and of course get those trades whenever his teammates were not able to do so. GGEZ, they deserve this victory purely because there were way too many mistakes being done at the very end. Like, you could tell that throughout this entire run, from the very beginning up till the very end, the members of GGEZ, they were being tested down to the core, especially up against the match when they were going against Rat Syndicate there. Rat Syndicate were another phenomenal team that they had to be, and you can tell that their strategies were being tested down to the core.
Absolutely. But the brackets are in front of our screens, right? This is how the Acer Predator League 2026 India qualifiers have panned out so far, where now GGEZ can be the first team to qualify for LAN, which is going to happen in some time, and the date is 11th of October, and that's going to be a LAN, of course. The location isn't revealed yet, will be soon. But S8UL, what is going to happen right now? They have lost the first map, and whenever they have gone on to lose any best of three, they have obviously lost the first map, and then couldn't recover from there. So this is something which might be a possibility on Heaven. Last time it was Corrode against Asterix, which they lost on the second map, and they lost the tournament as well. So that has also happened in the past week only. So that's not long back I'm talking about. So this is like recent times. So this is something which S8UL should be concerned about, and they should fix things pretty quickly. But then let's take a small breather before we move on with the proceedings of the second map. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Acer Predator League 2026 India Qualifiers. We are witnessing the upper bracket finals between S8UL and GGEZ, and there is a shocker of a news from the center that GGEZ have pulled up the first map, and they are most probably looking to close things out on Heaven because that is their map pick coming up. My name is Oro. With me, I have Aggressive. And Aggressive, what are your thoughts on Heaven right now?
Man, after that first initial game, it was a nail biter of a match. And knowing that the entire series could just be following suit, we could be in for a 3-map extravaganza, or we could be in for the biggest upset of this entire tournament, where GGEC taking a 2-0 victory up against S8UL. And of course, they will be the first ones to be taking that ticket onto that grand final stage, ladies and gentlemen, which will be a LAN. So make sure to set your calendars out for that one, because good God, has this entire tournament really been a roller coaster of emotions, with a lot of the teams really struggling, and with Asterisk also going down onto that lower bracket stage as well. You know that there's a lot of teams that are gunning for that first place position. And of course, when you consider that the Acer Predator League not only is going to allow you to win out the glory for the country for this particular stage, but also you get that one-way ticket, that one slot onto the Asia Pacific Predator League 2026, which will be happening next year, ladies and gentlemen, to represent your country on that global stage up against all of the other teams in Asia.
Absolutely, and then this is something. This is going to be a moment of pride for any team to do it. And who is going to do that? We already have the 4 teams, who more or likely will have that slot. It is going to be either S8UL, can be GGEZ, it can be Asterix and Rat Syndicate as well. These are the 4 teams who only has a chance to reach and grab that slot for India and reach the Asia Pacific stage and compete there and showcase what India has got. So now the situation is that, of course, we will see Rat Syndicate and Astral going up against each other, and that is happening. Going to happen in the evening though. But what has happened is, Ascent was, of course, S8UL's map pick, and then they did manage to start well on that map. And when things were looking pretty solid for S8UL, that was the moment where GGEZ struck hard and pulled things back in their favor. And certainly, S8UL did not had the reply which they should have, because now things have turned out to go against them, where now Heaven is a must-win situation for them. Otherwise, we won't even see Lotus, which is the decider. Now, let's have a talk about the agent compositions. I see Trinity on ISO, and ISO, of course, we know that how sufficient that agent, that duelist can be with that kill contract being available. You can just chuck a player out from the play, and that can just become an advantage for your team. And also you can even if you miss out on that aim duel in the inside that kill contract, the player just spawns over there where you pick him from, and your teammates can come up and get the trade. But on to S8UL side, RVK is going back to the Killjoy. Helef is now back on that controller where he can pull things back into his control. The problem is the only Sentinel I see is a KJ and a Cypher. So both the teams wanting to go with a double. I think. Oh, okay. GGEZ is going up with a single controller and a single Sentinel. Double duelist meta for GGEZ. This is something interesting. Machiavelli on that Yoru. How do you think this can pan out, right, Aggressive?
Yeah, it's just really coming on down to the level of comfort that they have playing these certain composition. Again, you can tell that S8UL, they are going for the much more meta composition, which is the double controller setup that is generally used now in the Asia Pacific scene. While on the opposite side of the spectrum, it's just them using the ISO Euro composition, which is a lot more aggressive, generally a term and a playstyle used by the players of the European League. Now, India in particular, as a region, generally tends to follow the European scene a little bit more, especially if you're a much more of a brand new roster. Then you don't really want to go for a double controller setup because of the amount of synergy and, of course, communication it is required to play a certain comp. So S8UL picking up something like this, because they're much more of a well-practiced team, it's not that big of a surprise, but it's also very difficult to try and utilize. If we see the exact same team as we saw in that last map without any form of adaptability or any form of way to change their overall strat play, try to utilize something like this, then it's going to be difficult. But it doesn't mean it's nigh impossible. So we're gonna need to see exactly where this push is gonna go towards, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these rounds that they did miss out on map number one really came down to them not
Mm.
adapting. And this composition just really relies on you understanding how to adapt to what your opponents are gonna throw towards you. I'm hoping
True.
that there will be a bit of a change for the better for the members of
Mm.
S8UL. But this aggressive playstyle that we already witnessed from GGEZ, especially in their past match up against Rat Syndicate as well on this particular map, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
little bit worried on what could be happening next. We don't really know just yet, because GGEZ as a team has just proven to be an absolute beast of a unit where
Yeah.
nothing they do can just go wrong, especially if Trinity is having a good day. And you can tell that from that first initial map that Trinity's performance, yeah, it was a little bit lax, but the way that he was playing the map was really reliant on his team getting space and really utilizing that space
Mm-hmm.
well. And you could tell that DC, when he had that space to really play in the way that he liked, he was an absolute dominant force, reaching that MVP position.
True aggressive. I mean, this is going to be interesting to watch out for now. And I mean, uh, yeah, of course, that practice is required to play that double composition, where double controller is present in as an agent selection in your meta for the time being is what Helef and their teammates are gonna try and do. With that being said, what is S8UL thinking right now? I mean, they have got the players. Of course, we know what Venka can do, but then he was not allowed to flourish that well. Is what I want to say here, because I feel Venka on a Yoru on a good day he can get crank up 25 to 30, even a 30 bomber. So that is something is expected from a player like him, because most likely is one of the players to always be on that chart, and who always creates that impact through his individual fragging power. So
Absolutely.
the way he couldn't do it on the other map was a little disappointing, and S8UL's performance also differed, right? That is why you say that the guy who is on that level, when he isn't delivering something like this, the team just sometimes becomes that edgeless. So that is something is what happened with S8UL in the last map, which is something is not expected all the time. But I think there's some technical issue happening. But we will be back with the second map live after a short little break.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Acer Predator League 2026 India Qualifiers. We are now back in for the action after the short little break, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely sorry for all of the technical difficulties, but we are gonna need to make sure that the players are, of course, prepped and ready for a game-changing play like this. This is just not a game changer for the players, but also for the entire scene as a whole, because whoever wins this one out takes that one-way ticket over towards that grand finals and one step closer for the Asia Pacific Predator League 2026, ladies and gentlemen, to represent their country on the global stage. We're going to be jumping on down over into the game soon enough, ladies and gentlemen, and honestly speaking, I'm excited for this one because the map of Haven has a lot to uncover, especially with GGEZ proving that they are not a squad that will lay down and take the beating from the members of S8UL. They're here to fight, they're here to win, and they're here to showcase that this squad will have no limits that they can't break past.
Techno ready with a shock dart, but unfortunately this isn't a aggressive execute coming in. This looks like a garage to see hit from the likes of GGEZ. Everybody, actually everybody, okay, this looks like a fake out. But then Venka just outside the garage. Players are waiting. Venka has stepped in. Will they use a flash or they want to peek in? Okay, Venka first finds out. Oh, goodness me. Do not want to walk in his crosshairs, but his Viper wall will separate things out. Kohli, will he find one? He somehow managed to pull things up on RVK. Oh, now
One enemy remaining.
trade on left. He misses out Vibor. And Vibor is getting covered by the man coming from A, which is Techno. But look at behind. There's someone coming in for you, which is, of course, the whole team of S8UL. With Venka and Hopes coming in for the help. But a pretty good round for S8UL. To start things off pretty well. I mean, should have expected someone playing close, but double peak coming in and Venka was too good.
All these rounds really just came down to the wire now, didn't it? This particular engagement really just was S8UL having an initial bit of a lead, and historically, if S8UL are able to win out on the pistol round, as a team, they are very difficult to try and stop. RVK, okay, Sheriff Demon for a reason. Good God, Vibor. Absolutely no way to answer that one, as a fire has been lit under the team. They're angry after what happened in that last map. And immediately you can tell that the team's overall dynamic has shifted for the better.
Last player standing.
Machiavelli's going to be good for one kill, but RVK still hitting the shots that he needs to. Kohli, the perfect angle, now looking for a bit more of an overarching engagement. He needs to be careful of the player that's running in towards behind him. Hoax instantly comes in to save his buddy. And he doesn't want to give that one away. 2-0. It's S8UL. They take a little bit of a lead for themselves, but now that GGEZ have the weapons in their hands, what's the game plan here? How do they want to change this?
Yep. Not the worst of the rounds for them, GGEZ. They did manage to get two, where Kohli and I think Machiavelli created value. But anyways, I really want to see how, the ISO and the Yoru is used right now, because they did try for a fast execute from Garage in the first round. That did not happen. Okay, the recon did reveal Techno's positioning. Machiavelli is expected over there. Hoax is ready for the blind with the paranoia. They're playing pretty close on A. The drone might reveal the position. The shock dart being used. Of course, the value will be there from chip damage. With that shock dart, Machiavelli and the ISO both being pushed back now. They somehow have to rethink this. They are again coming towards Garage, which is the plan. Right now, DC position is revealed that they should expect this push now. Somebody needs to watch the window. If not, then okay, DC is caught off guard. LF is coming towards Garage now, and they are being crossed.
Spike planted.
Spike will be planted though. Looks like a retake, but then players' positions are revealed through the recon dart, which came into league at a good time. Machiavelli creates value, but then, of course, Venka was there. The rotation from mid was pretty good, because of which the position is revealed. But now, Kohli's position is known. Oh, Venka, you will use his fast
player
lane.
standing.
There is okay, uses from the TP, but Venka finished off both of them. The plan was good to surprise him with the TP,
Spike's
but
dead.
Venka there,
You're welcome.
as I said,
Go, go,
he is
go.
that kind of a player. If he starts clicking his shots, he will be more likely the one to win those duels, right? Aggressive for your team.
Gotta go. I'm out of here. Go, go, go. Gotta go.
And a lot of these rounds really are just coming down to GGEZ being able to find a lot more of that initial value. But even then, they're just not really able to find it because S8UL have not really been giving them much of an open space to really play for. For now, though,
That's
thinking
done.
that slow is going to be their side. Once again, they don't really have the strongest of weapons to go in for these fights. And RBK just cleaning up house one after the next. This is the RBK that we were missing from that last map, ladies and gentlemen. He's hitting every single one of his shots. Vivor needs to be the first one to come alive for here. As the flawless comes in for their team as the members of S8UL, they take a 4-0 for their scoreline. The hits are good and it's perfect. But overall, you can tell that GGEZ have yet to really figure out a plan. The reads for the overall positions, yeah, they do have a good understanding of how the members of S8UL are holding on to this, but even if you know how the setup is going to look like, the overall hit that you need to do is just way more difficult.
Shadows traveling.
The Viper is so good on this map, right? I mean, because of that, there's a garage from B. There's a wall towards garage, right? Which is something that is giving them so much place to move in or move around. Actually, not move in, move around.
Traveling.
Have the dimensional drift and from the shadows, GGEZ looks like S8UL are planning things in a better way. But if I'm a GGEZ fan, they would say that, hey, the start was good on Ascent as well, but things changed midway. That is where I think S8UL lost the ploy. The spike has been planted. Their site is in control. Hunter's Fury is there for the post plant. Okay, Venka is waiting for the late rotation from DC. There might be a timing which we might see. Okay,
Cannot use that.
the ISO abilities, but they're still waiting. They're still waiting. Lockdown now being used. Now the Hunter's Fury will be used, and now DC finds the timing. As I said, there will be a timing. DC is still alive now. Finally, his trade comes in, but Machiavelli and Trinity has created value. The Sova doesn't have HP to work with. Now the Recon Dart will reveal. Not reveal though.
One enemy remaining.
No, and the Trinity finds one more. Fox is alive with that Outlaw, but there is no time for the Diffusal to come in. Fox, no, that's a techno, my bad on that. But then, as I said, the start was good on Ascent as well, aggressive.
Even though it's just situations like this going for them, it's not going to be that simple now, is it? S8UL, once again, they're making small mistakes in these last couple of rounds that are really starting to pile up one on top of the next. Unless they're careful, it's just going to keep on adding up more and more over time. GGEZ. They've gotten the first on the board though, and two big ultimates are now online. The Dimensional Drift utilized to just give that kill contract even more urgency and a free possible pickup onto each one of these players. They know the exact position. That's going to be Venka with the first initial one. The call's being taken, but the kill contract was utilized so late. I don't know exactly why they even did this. The kill contract should have been almost instant as the Euro was trying to come out. Positions revealed. RBK still takes the fight, somehow still gets the trades off in their favor. GGEZ, they're in it to try and win it. Machiavelli's going to be able to find that draw. Trinity with a fast swing. And GGEZ somehow, even though they completely botched up their ultimates, they're able to win. None of this makes sense, but hey, if it works, right?
I mean, aggressive, usually whenever we casters say something, the opposite happens.
Bot coming back.
But S8UL fans would want to kill me for saying that on Acer a similar kind of situation happened. Hey, I mean, I'm not your enemy. I just pointed it out and it just started falling off now. This is something where it becomes scary, right? Because this just becomes difficult for S8UL from here. If they lose out on this, they will have to play that lower bracket. They will have an opportunity again to qualify for LAN, but then they wouldn't want that opportunity. They would want to qualify directly. There's an operator online for Venka. The last time he had that operator in his hand, he created value. That is what is expected. About Hughes, it's a shock dart. Finds no one. Techno has taken a step back. DC has been waiting for ages, but RVK finds Trinity. RVK finds DC. What is he doing? So much ahead, and nobody's watching that.
One enemy remaining.
Nobody was watching the garage push, and Helef now comes out from A. I think not from A, from B, and he finds one, and Venka just shuts down Machiavelli towards A long. Wow, RVK just pushes garage and finds 3. And how come nobody's watching the garage push? And yeah, Hacker takes a breather, which is required. So GGEZ will have to figure things out right now.
To go for something like this, Hacker just took this pause immediately because he kind of understood exactly what was going wrong for them. S8UL, they found those openings that GGEZ are leaving in their overall strat play. And you can tell that they're not as comfortable trying to run their strategy as you would have expected. This is their map pick, and they're struggling in the way that they're trying to build upon it. Don't forget, S8UL, they are running a double controller setup, so of course their defensive side will be looking a little bit more stronger on this particular map, but even then, it really just comes down to the way that you utilize utility. GGEZ, big gaps in the map being left, and hopefully Hackers just given a little bit of an understanding to them that, hey, you need to be a little bit more mindful on where you're trying to go, how your teammates are trying to move. Because if they don't, it's not going to be looking as good for you now, is it? In the mid side now already. Pushes are already coming across for them. Trinity is going to be the first one to try and take this fight, but a beautifully placed out Snakebite to instantly stop them from trying to brute force it. That's going to be RVK with the first kill. Techno does find a little bit of a tag with Helef coming in for the backline push. Trinity does fall, and that's going to be S8UL taking advantage almost immediately. Seems like Ascent is just playing all over again, ladies and gentlemen. As GGEZ, they've yet to figure out what the strategy is going to look like, but as soon as they do, as soon as the momentum just goes back in their favor, S8UL, that's when the pressure on their heads will be mounting.
Yeah. This is an eco round though. Won't have the bias, but DC finds Hawks towards B. Now Vibor swings. He finds one more. He ignored Techno and wanted to plant. And yeah, he is going to plant, but Venka is going to find DC now. Plant is there, but Techno has closed in. Kohli is the last man. 1v3, he finds one. Okay, now this is where things can be difficult. Venka's position is known. He uses the overdrive, but it's not needed. Techno finds value. Converted 2 in the round. Then the good thing is S8UL converted the round and things did not, turn against them. They have just managed to play the defensive side better as expected because they have the double controller setup going in, and the other team with the double duelist, if they're not able to find spaces and not able to find those duels, is going to create problems. And once you are able to find those value, I think that is where GGEZ can be a little bit more difficult to predict. But now at this point of time, once the swap on come back towards the defensive half, it's gonna be difficult to control again, right? Because they only have that Omen, and Kohli now shuts down Venka this time. No more garage peaks coming in from Venka. The Viper Spit is there early on. And look at Helef's position. He's playing literally towards the door. Now he has to go in. There's a fake out being used. Helef, he will reposition himself. He has a snake bite, and that is why the Viper is so good. But no, Helef has been taken out. Now, the side is up for grabs, aggressive.
There's no way that they were able to find something like this. A lot of these rounds really just came down to them not surviving, but look at DC! He found a double! Oh my god, from the side of Garage, this man is an absolute unit and a beast to try and deal with. RBK, though, still alive and kicking, but the Sentinel Brethren instantly whips out the classic to go in for a slap to the face. 6-3, ladies and gentlemen, as GGEZ, they're still taking rounds for themselves, but look at the moments of brilliance. Good god, DC. That is exactly what you want to see. Mechanical skill coming to the center stage here for the members of GGEZ, but then again, how often can you rely on these mechanical brilliances to get you out of these sticky situations? S8UL taking down one round, but they still have a 3-round lead for themselves, and unless GGEZ are able to take 2 more, this next half will be a little bit difficult for them.
RVK trying to find something through the smoke, but nothing there. They have the kill contract. The last time the kill contract was used was pretty late in the round, and we questioned the usage. The way they are playing on the attacker's half, they need better than this, because they need the 3 more rounds left out. Because if the scoreline is not 6-6, it's going to be a hell lot of a difficult situation for GGEZ on the defensive situation, because only that Omen to control, and you just need to push. Other than that, there's not going to be any option, and pushing that Viper wall is going to be so hard. So, coming back now, from the shadows being used from hooks. He got the information though. No, there is a slight read that they are coming towards A, and that's why Venka is placed over there. But nobody is making contact towards Venka. Everybody is just waiting inside that dark hour. Techno is waiting, but DC just comes in there. And now, his position isn't revealed yet. Like a neural theft. It's going to be a save, because of which the position is revealed. Venka connects onto Vibor. He's still alive. He can come around towards attacking.
10 seconds left.
He swapped off the gun, and he finds Trinity.
Spike planted.
Trinity,
I'm out
wait.
here.
He didn't find anyone on that kill contract. Because of which now
This
it's
has
a
been a
difficult
recurring
situation.
theme on so many of these rounds where Trinity should have found something for the kill contract, and now utilizing just the Killjoy lockdown, they're going to be able to force him down in towards the open. Something should have happened there, but Venka, absolutely brilliant when it came down to the adaptability there. He just turns around, swings across, took down multiple players, and that was instant. This has just gone from a bad to worse situation, ladies and gentlemen. It's always that kill contract. If you're gonna play ISO on a map like this, you need to find value out of that ultimate. That ultimate is easily one of the strongest ults in the entire game, because you can take someone away from a retake, you can take someone away from the side if you're on the attack, and just find value with it. But Trinity, this is the second kill contract that he got almost nothing out of. Things are just going from bad to worse in a matter of an instant.
Oh, Venka is crossed. And there is a dark cover being placed. Trinity, we expect the shotty waiting for him, but no! Okay. Venka wasn't allowed to run away. He will be traded immediately. But there's a good read that now Techno's positioning is going to be interesting. The rotations are coming in. The Hunter's Fury being committed. Will he be able to connect? No, there's no connection there. Still, numbers equal for both the teams. GGEZ have the From the Shadows, which can be used. Helef and Techno. This can be very, very crucial. Owl drone, and DC catches him. There is a rotation there, but Helef also falls down. And now it's on to RVK. His position is revealed because of the camera placement towards the sewers. You have to gain control. I mean, it's better to save this weapon. But he's still gonna try.
I mean, they have
Get some
money,
value.
so
Yeah, I wish they have, of
they don't
course.
really have much. Yeah, they don't have much to worry about. RVK is gonna try to go in for something here. Not really the most impossible of situations that RVK has been in. There's still a chance for him to slowly work up. Maybe find one kill at the bare minimum. Positions are revealed. A little bit of spam being taken. Bros don't fake here. It seems as the shot's already taken, the board just swings across and catches out RVK. One more round, ladies and gentlemen, for the members of
Last
S8UL
round in the
to
half.
really start sweating a bit here, because GGEZ, this is that turnaround point that I was worried about. This is the turnaround point that is going to be expected from their side. They're running a double controller setup, so in general, this will be very difficult to attack onto. But GGEZ, they've done a pretty good job. And a lot of the rounds that they did lose was purely because they're the ones to kind of mess up, right? And S8UL, they just were able to capitalize on those mistakes. If GGEZ didn't make a lot of the mistakes that they did, then we could easily be looking at a 75 scoreline in the opposite direction. Because S8UL, they played their cards right, but GGEZ, they just dropped the ball in so many rounds.
Who's next?
Okay, the dimensional drift now being committed by Machiavelli. Will he check above the boxes though? There's a player waiting towards that angle. It's not passed on. I think players have jumped in, but now the fake out there. And what did he want to try out? I mean, that was not even a surprise. The position was expected so much. You know, just committing suicide, Machiavelli over there. He has walked in close. Shock dart didn't deal any amount of damage. The spike is towards B now. Hawks finds Vibhor. The initiator is out of the play. Trinity, he has to do something here. Otherwise, the plant towards B is not going to be that easy. Now they have walked in towards B. They should know that the players are going to come in towards this angle. The only possibility of GGEZ of winning this round is going to be Trinity and his positioning. Trinity needs to find value. But the problem... Oh no, Trinity's down now. They're just constantly rotating from here to a different angle. Hunter's Fury is active and they won't be allowed to plant, and Benka comes in. The spike is dropped. They don't have the time. Overdrive there. He cannot take all the players down in just 1 second left in the clock. 8th round confirmed for S8UL. They only managed to get 4 on the attackers half.
sides.
GGEZ. I mean, the real problem starts now.
My quiver is never full. 10 seconds left.
They're gonna need to try and turn this one back. Yikes, this round in general has been a little bit too dicey for the members of GGEZ, but even then, they gotten pretty close to it. 8-4 on the scoreline as the members of S8UL now. I think you already know or what the biggest weakness of their strategy is. Just don't let them enter onto the site, because as soon as they enter onto the site, it's all over for you. There's no way you're going to be able to run this down on a retake situation because of the amount of utility these controllers will have to slow you down to a crawl as soon as you're trying to go in for a retake. Take these fights early and make sure that they are very uncomfortable trying to take it. And DC, he understands it. He's inside of the site. He doesn't really want to give much of it away. Shock darts now utilized. Tripwire yet to be broken, so that's not the end of the world for them. Machiavelli knee deep on an angle here over towards the sewer side. A bit dangerous in the way that he's trying to take this engagement. The gate crash is just about to run out as well. A little bit dicey. Machiavelli needs to get out of this. He maybe needs to give away the space. Vibor's going to be the first one to go in for the kill. Perfect timing as well. Trinity heard the sounds instantly, gets the catch. One by one, the members of S8UL, they drop. And this is where this composition will start to bleed, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the problems will arise for them. But Machiavelli double dipping a little bit too hard here. Both the controllers still alive and kicking. Hoax is going to be able to find one more. Vibor takes the back seat. They know the position of one more of these players. Coley trying to take too much of an early engagement. And one by one, they're dropping the bag. Why are you even peeking them? They have a double controller setup. You're just supposed to wait inside of the side. GGEZ, what the hell are you trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, they're expecting this now. There's a push coming in from the back lines, which is Trinity, and he's going to be the most concerning player. Now, DC knows there's a sound cue here. This position is not going to be expected. This is not going to be expected angle, and of course, Hoax goes down. Helef is coming around, and he will find one. The problem is, Trinity is not going to be expected. Will he expect Trinity towards long? Is the question, and he's planting inside the scene.
Spike planted.
Oh, his position is revealed. Now in a 1v1. Will Helef win it? And Helef connects the shot onto Trinity and pulls the round back in their favor. And now GGEZ has gone on to mess up the thing when it was just turning things in their favor. With a 2v. I think it was a 2v4 conversion or 2v5. I think it was a 2v5 conversion.
2v5.
Right? Coming in. Yeah, 2v5. Wow, I mean, they just had to wait. This was Helef first. And then everybody just wanting to push. Vibor there. This was Kohli.
One enemy remaining.
DC's position was,
Spike down.
of course, not known.
One enemy
But
remaining.
he did not know Helef was already in the garage.
Dude, it doesn't even matter if you knew they were in garage or not. Why the hell are you swinging into them? They have only 2 players left and you're just giving isolated 1v2s to everyone.
Yep.
GGEZ, they're getting way too overconfident in the way that they're taking their fights. A little bit of an issue. Vibor is going to be able to find an opening though at the bare minimum. Recon hold's going to cause some problems. Machiavelli tries to go in for the kills. Yes, he does. Wait a minute. They're turning this one back around on its head. There's still a chance. 3v2 now. They need to slow it down. They have the spike. Don't do a goddamn thing. Just stay in the positions that you are trying to hold. Kohli playing it risky. He's the only one with a weapon. Wait, no, never mind. He's not the only one with a weapon. There's one more on the left side. They need to get the clearance on every single one of these positions. Kohli now has a perfect crossfire set up. As soon as DC is going to be the first line of contact, I do believe that Machiavelli is going to be the one to try and play for information. But they've given away too much. This is a sad round, isn't it? Because S8UL, they're just isolating out the
30
perfect
seconds
kills
left.
almost every
One
single
enemy
turn.
remaining.
Wait. Kohli! He pulls it back in favor of GGEZ. I mean, aggressive. The sigh of pain you had after they lost
30 seconds
both the
left.
players and the numbers advantage
enemy
was in
remaining.
favor of S8UL. They made the same mistake of, taking this as a isolated way. But there's something with both the teams, right? Both of them, they somehow managed to, give the other one those isolated moments where they can just be immaculate and just, convert those situations. And the round should have been in favor of S8UL. They messed up, but now Venka is stuck. He's stuck, and of course DC won't allow Venka to pass on. He takes back the trip towards C-Long. This is an eco round for GGEZ. Never want to challenge them on the sheriffs. Know what these players can do. Oh, okay, the turret was marked, and Trinity just managed to take the turret down. Machiavelli has already walked. And look at him, he will be caught. Okay, was he doing it deliberately? But he wanted to find a timing on Trinity finds last of the two. But then Helef was trying to walk towards sewers through the wall. But then he remembers that, oh no, this might be the time for my wall to go down. And he was stuck. See, halfway down the line, he was stuck. Whatever it is,
Happens to the best of us.
yeah, whatever it is, I mean, the scoreline is looking much more closer in grabs for GGEZ. It's 9-6 aggressive. If they lose out on this, we might see an 8-9.
Shock dart. Scanning ahead.
Slowing things down here once again. GGEZ. They're coming back in towards this game, and they understand that this composition really does rely on S8UL getting into the side as long as they're able to survive and just stop this push from happening almost immediately. Get those early kills on at least one of the controllers. There's no world where S8UL are going to be the ones to try and take this victory away from them. It's a well played out plan and a strategy, but they're giving away a bit too much space in this particular round, as both of the players from GGEZ, both of the duelists, sorry, have already started to take the engagement towards the A main sideline. Flashes are ready if they want to try and take this fight against the Killjoy, but they've already forced them over towards the opposite side of the map. DC, understanding the situation, has already started to be close towards the angle. He beat the timing of the drone. He's able to find the catch over on the one. He should be able to get the second as well, but no, he does fall for it. Venka is the one to bite the bullet, but even then, that's completely fine. The retake situations have already going to be coming through. No real ultimates in the hands of S8UL. Sorry, GGEZ to try and break in towards the side. And this has just gone from bad to worse, as I'm pretty sure that this round is going to be turned on its head. Trinity still, regardless, able to find something. Kill contract now utilized to try and get one more catch. One by one, they do fall. Trinity's timing now is going to be crucial. He gets the kill. That's a Viper spin down as well. RBK, the last one remaining, needs to try and be the hero of the story, but there's nothing that he can do up against the ISO, who has the shield ready to go in for that swing. 9-7, ladies and gentlemen. And even though this round went in the favor of S8UL early on, that one kill, that one goddamn kill that should have been necessary for this victory when he was that close on the angle, waiting for the defenders to run in. Trinity, he just saved the entire round without even knowing it.
Yeah. And when the time mattered, aggressive, when the time mattered, he delivered. We were questioning him with that ability. You know, not a single round we had seen before this one that the kill contract was utilized in a situation where GGEZ could value from it. And now comes where he takes down Helef inside the Viper's Pit. Through the Viper's Pit, actually, he connected. But then now, this is going to be painful to watch because S8UL once again doesn't have the economy. They have constantly been losing out on the rounds, because of which they have not been able or been allowed to actually build on that economy, which is the problem. Now, the drone being broken off, DC knows that this is going to be a garage to see kind of a movement coming in. There's a player already playing towards long. The paranoia will delay DC's movement. Ooh, Makavali! He tried to do something over there, but Makavali connects one more. He gets Venka. And DC wanted to be cheeky.
One enemy remaining.
The last bullet. Makavali, will he get the one onto Techno? No, he doesn't. Techno has the eye claw, but of no use. 8-9 is the scoreline now. As I said, again, I would want to quote myself. The game isn't out of reach for GGEZ. These kind of one-rounders are always pretty close. When does S8UL start to panic is the question now, aggressive.
It can happen at any second. S8UL, honestly speaking, I think they're panicking right now, because they know that these rounds have slipped away a little bit too much away from them. Ascent is just haunting them at this point. The problems with the composition that they do have pretty much imminent. Venka, he's looking for the swing and the fight, and he's going to be able to find it. Vibor wasn't expecting Venka to be this aggressive, to push out from a dark cover like that. You need to have a will of steel to make that one happen. Finally, we do see a bit of retaliation coming in from the members of S8UL because they took the initiative for that fight. Complete and utter disrespect, but Machiavelli now does have the operator ready. And he needs to find value here on this long sideline. Up for the position, ready for the fight. The smoke's now utilized. They're going to try to walk in towards the site now, with Venka leading the charge. The operator's position now already revealed. Trinity in the perfect angle. He's trying to go in for the big flank, and the lurk should be working out in their favor. Machiavelli still somehow gets a kill. He does get shut down in the process, though. Trinity in position, in towards the back, and he's now revealed. He needs to be careful in the way that he takes this fight, but the way that they've gotten the engagement, Cooley also falls. None of the defenders trying to flood in towards the side just works out in their favor. And it's all up to Trinity to now be the hero of the story, with DC on for the angle. His position's now revealed, close for the fight. Shorty in hand, he's going to be able to find the kill in towards the corner. And he still needs to get the clearance onto the second, but he couldn't really do it. 10-8 as S8UL They're still in it to get those double digits on the board. GGEZ, they have enough money to go in for the buy, but S8UL, that one kill that they got on Vibor really was the game changer for them to go in for this fight.
Yeah, absolutely aggressive. This is something which I think was from the beginning in favor of GGEZ, but that's dark cover being placed over there and wanting to push through the smoke was a good decision, and they followed their gut. And the instinctive movements were pretty good over there. But now, this is where things can be pretty dicey. Vibhor spots one and he tags Sova, I guess. It's Techno who's being spotted, or actually it's
You should run.
the lockdown being committed. S8UL now would want to wait, but look at how Machiavelli is waiting. He's already on that backstab, but then the turret is already placed. Venka, he needs to find this player. He finds Vibhor. The value is there. Is wanting to push. This is the spam going in. Trinity will push, and he pushes his confidence. RVK is taken out. Kohli, can he find Valley? He finds Helef. Be very careful, but Kohli gets one more. But then this is a 1v2. Player from the heaven. He will jump down. He will lose out HP as well, and Venka will find DC. This time, make no mistake, S8UL doesn't want to make any kind of possibility or a situation where GGEZ can catch them slacking. They're pretty proactive. They are wanting to win this map and take things on Lotus, where they can pull it back in their favor.
This is just insane. These rounds are really coming down to the wire. GGEZ. A lot of the mistakes that they're making is really dependent on the way that they're taking these earlier fights. S8UL are just cracking them down one after the next. Kill contract is online now, and I'm pretty sure that Hacker's just giving them a little bit of a plan here on what to do with that kill contract. This one ultimate will change the tides of this particular battle and just really sway the entire game back into their favor. It's not impossible to try and make this comeback happen, right? We did see this happen from them on the map of Ascent. Question being, will history repeat itself, or will it be a victory for S8UL here to take match point? The buys are also not going to be looking that good for them in the following round if they do lose here. They're going to have enough money to go in for one more fighting buy, but this is risky. It's do or die in this particular round, and Trinity is going to need to be the hero of the story here. All the pressure is on him. It seems as though S8UL, they want an early fight here and an engagement over towards the A side. Machiavelli, forced to be the spotted one out. They need to be careful of how this is going to go. They know exactly where Machiavelli is. I'm pretty sure that they saw him going for the crossing. Trinity tries to go in for the fight. What is this spam, Trinity? That was such a risky duel for you to try and take, but Machiavelli turns it all back. He gets a double on his own accord. They're able to survive, and they get the man advantage back in their favor. Kohli, paranoia in hand, lets it rip and goes in for the angle fight. He takes the kill, and now they're looking for more. Kohli, perfect utilization of the smoke as well to just keep on baiting your opponents in towards the open. RVK wants to maybe go in for the fight. Kohli needs to expect this towards the left side, but no one's really going in for the clearance. They've gotten all of the angles down and isolated. RVK for the duel, swings out. That's going to be a miss and a half. That's Kohli, positions revealed, and it's going to be Machiavelli to come in for that save. That's Helef. Last one alive now for the members of S8UL. How does he want to take this fight? Because
30 seconds left.
I don't know, Oro. Things have just gone from bad to worse. I thought that Trinity was going to be the savior of the round, but instead it was Machiavelli.
Yeah. Helef doesn't have...
Toxins going up.
He cannot walk in towards C without
10
that trip
seconds
wire.
left.
He's wanting to save the weaponry. That's why he's holding that trip. And these guys are expecting him towards CT, and nobody is there. He hasn't walked in on that angle. And it's better to save this weaponry, because this is where something I think can be an eco round, a difference between an eco round and a half buy. They can still opt for fewer buys. But now, 11-9. GGEZ has 3 ultimates to go with. They again have that kill contract. They're from the shadows and also the neural theft, due to which, you know, a lot of information can be gained. And if they win this one, there might again be a possibility that they can equalize the scoreline. And that has been the case in this whole best of 3 series. Will they want to push in? DC, he is going to be the first point of contact. He has the shotty. You can't peek. Now the cyber cage comes in. The neural theft being used. Information is relayed. So much value there for GGEZ. The trade has not been taken. Now Machiavelli
What a
has walked
shot,
in.
Machiavelli
can get the second one as well, but RVK, he finds value. 1 gun retrieved. Benka, anything from here. The fast lane being deployed, aggressive. What can be the correct movement for S8UL from here?
Smokes are already coming too as well. Vibor is in a pretty good position on his own accord. He just needs to wait for his teammates to really come into position here. GGEZ, they also do have the ultimates in line, but no Vibor. Not like this. Trinity needs to be the one to take this duel and win it out, and yes, he does. At the bare minimum, Venka now to be the hero of the story. Too many fights for him to take. Close quarters for the duel, but it's going to be DC with the shorty in hand to instantly send him back down to the earth. 11-10. These rounds are nail-biter of rounds, ladies and gentlemen. That's every single situation that GGEZ is put into. They're able to find a turning point at DC. He's the hero of it with Machiavelli on the side. This guy's aim is just sublime. Vibor, man. You gotta hit those shots, but RVK is just
30 seconds.
player and a half when he has that sheriff in his hand. 11-10, GGEZ. They're inching closer and closer to the equalizer, inching closer and closer to taking this victory for themselves. The reads are there. The Hunter's Fury is present. And I do believe that Machiavelli maybe just needs 2 more kills for that dimensional drift. They could even possibly try and combo this if they do have the ultimates online for it. But this is risky. Machiavelli, again, knee-deep towards the short side. He's trying to play for information here. Trying to stop them from trying to go in for an over-aggressive ploy. As DC, now he has the information that he wanted. But with the C side ripe for the picking, the recon bolts are going to be coming in soon as well. DC, he has a lot to worry about.
Now, Hunter's Fury being committed. The player has been spotted and Vibor finds Techno. The guy who can give you information has now been taken out. That's the Sova out of the game. Spike will go down, but it's going to be a retake where the numbers are in favor of GGEZ. Now the recon comes in, the paranoia will hit, but Venka still finds Trinity. Now Hellfire finds value as well. The paranoia comes in. Things are slowed down. There's no flanks coming in. All of them are there towards the side. Kohli gets one, but Venka finds one more. Kohli, he has to be the man for them to clutch it. Fast lane being committed. He crosses out. RVK would not want to do anything. Venka, super confident, takes S8UL up to the match point. This time S8UL, after reaching the 11th round, did not want to choke things up, because in the last map, it did come back to bite them pretty hard, right? Aggressive.
That is not how you want to try and take those fights, man. You could have just waited. You knew that they had snake bites and everything present onto the floor, but they tried to push past the snake bite. Trinity lost his shield because he tried to take that fight on that snake bite too. Completely unnecessary in so many of these fights and the way that they took these engagements. Members of GGEZ got a little bit too trigger happy in the way that they took those fights, and now they're falling onto the wayside. Not a lot of utility either to try and brute force an entry. They do have the dimensional drift to just allow them a bit more space to play for, but as long as this Viper is up and ready, there's too many smokes for him to clear out. Machiavelli in the back lines, he can't really even give his teammates a place to play for. It's all about this one opening now. Shots just don't connect, and it's going to be RBK who gets the kill instead. Machiavelli does fall. It's GGEZ. I think it's done and dusted. It's already over. No one can really press this Viper Spit anymore from the side of Defender Spawn, and Vibor needs to be the one to go in for that kill. That safe haven that they have because of that Viper is just such a nuisance for anyone to try and break through, and it's all up to Kohli once again. The hero for the team, the squad leader, pretty much in a lot of these situations. He swings out, he does get the second, but the Hunter's Fury is up and ready. There's no way that S8UL will even try and lose this. Because as long as this Hunter's Fury is alive, RBK has the turret as well. Problems keep on arising, and even if he gets the half defuse, he needs to find so much more for his sake of survival. Timing is key. The spam's gonna come through. There's no way that he gets this clutch. And a 30-10 scoreline comes in. The map of Haven goes in their favor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 3-map extravaganza. It's happening. It's going the distance. Oh my god, this game of Valorant is never gonna end.
I mean, aggressive. If there would have been 0.1 seconds, Kohli could have defused the spike. But then there are no ifs and buts in esports. It is something which we can say, the viewers can say, not players. And S8UL wanted. I mean, let's do one thing. Let's have a instant replay of that last round. We need to watch the chaos. What happened in that moment? I mean, he used his dark cover. He sat for that defusal. He did half defuse it. He dodged the Hunter's Fury. He swinged. He takes down RVK. He sat again. I think he needed more than 0.1 seconds. He needed, I think, 1 second to be specific to defuse that spike, which wasn't there. So poor Kohli over there, but well played, GGEZ. Of course, they lost a lot on their attackers half. If they could have converted few more, I think things could have been different. And that is something which I was saying from the word go, that on your attackers half, we know that they have that double controller setup, but then they needed better than 4 rounds only. They only got 4. They made that comeback possible only because of how they planned out their defensive situation. But I think they missed out too many, which is something is always a problem. But it is S8UL, right? They will latch on to those mistakes and they will punish you. And now it is Lotus. It is going to be a best of 1 situation. Whoever wins that map will qualify for LAN.
It's gotta be the 3-map extravaganza, right? When the stakes are so high, that's when you know that both of these teams will really come alive. The mistakes being made over and over again by the members of GGEZ just played them way too often. They got too trigger happy. I don't understand why in these last couple of rounds they started to push through snake bites, for God's sake. And then Machiavelli, he was the one with the dimensional drift. Why was he flanking with the dimensional drift when it was necessary for him to be present to try and save his teammates, to help them have an easier entry into a Viper Spit? This could have been a completely different story if GGEZ really played their utility out properly. They did not do it well. They just kept on making these mistakes throughout the entire game. You could see it over and over again. And as the audience, I'm pretty sure that everyone could tell that the team was just playing much more solo-centric instead of trying to play together as a team. And you're never going to be able to take a win here because of that. It's sad, but that's just the reality of the situation and the reality of the world that we live in. Now, GGEZ, they take the loose here. But then again, don't forget, they still have that safety net, right? They won that first map, so they're going to be heading on down over into the third. So maybe, just maybe, they're going to be able to come back even stronger, just like the members of S8UL did. But honestly speaking, S8UL, they were just really good at punishing the mistakes being made by the members of GGEZ. Because GGEZ, you could tell that they had full control of the entire map almost every single time, but they kept fumbling the bag because they didn't utilize their ults properly, and they kept on getting caught off guard by the map control that was trying to be established by the members of S8UL, even though they were very telegraphed in the way that they did it. S8UL, they need to go back to the drawing board just to bring a little bit more of, how do I put it, a little bit more of a foolproof plan. Because all of their strategies really involve them punishing mistakes for their opponents. And I do get it, GGEZ, they do make a lot of mistakes, but what are you going to do when they are not making those mistakes, right? That's when your team will really start to fall.
Hmm. That is something we will find out once we hop on towards Lotus. But then we have the scoreboard coming in, 13-10. It says S8UL always performs so well when this man Venka is on his best. I said once he is hitting his shots, you will see him cranking up those numbers. It's 25-14. That just showcases his dominance inside heaven. And also he has 7 false bloods. That is always expected from a neon main. And with the caliber of Venka, he just exploits it so well. I know DC has managed to get 5 first bloods on that cipher. Is something funny. But Machiavelli and I think Trinity, specifically, I would want to point out that Trinity, I think ISO can be utilized in a much better way. That is something for sure. He missed out on a lot of opportunities on the kill contract in the earlier situations. So that is something he needs. If he is wanting to play this agent on Heaven consistently, he needs to do better than this. So that is something for sure. But Venka has again come up to this page. That is the most valuable player, and he has got an ACS, which is an average combat score of 290.0, and he almost has a damage per round of 175.8, which means he converted kills in every round, so a 1.1 kills per round ratio as well, which is there. So this man is always consistent with his gameplay. They need S8UL needs him to be consistent on Lotus as well, so that they can seal that LAN slot.
Absolutely. Consistent performances all around coming out from them, ladies and gentlemen. And these kind of performances is what's really expected when you have performing players like Venka on the team. But then again, will these performances really come through for that last and final map? Because these two matches that they did play were grueling down to the very core. They had to fight tooth and nail for this victory. A 13-11 scoreline win for GGEZ on map number 1 for Ascent, and a 13-11 scoreline victory for the members of S8UL on map number 2. Every single thing that they had to do to try and take this win really came down to the wire. And they need a little bit of time to really recuperate after something like this. Make sure to check out all the links down in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the pinned comment on the side if you want to get yourself an Acer Predator laptop. There's a huge selection down below, so make sure to check all of that out on the sidelines as we head on down over into a very short little break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more Valorant action. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Acer Predator League 2026 India Qualifiers. Those first two maps were nail-biter ones. And honestly, I think that Oro needs a little bit of a breather. That's why Universe is going to be joining me for this one. And oh boy, buddy, those first two maps, they just left an impression on pretty much everyone back at home. To get to that grand final stage, to be the first finalist for the Acer Predator League India Qualifiers. These two teams have really just fought tooth and nail to get to that point. And now it's a final map to decide which ones are going to be the ones to go there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it is a great battle. I was surprised with the first map itself that GGEZ actually took that map away from
true.
S8UL. I was expecting S8UL to, even though it went the distance, I thought S8UL would be able to, clutch up in the end. But now it's come down to a glorified best of one. We will be heading in and deciding which one of these teams will be making the trip to Bengaluru. But considering that, of course, the other team can also make it in the lower bracket, there is another game awaiting for us as well later on today, the winner of whom will be playing the loser of this particular matchup. But now it's gone 13-11 on both ends. Now we're coming to a final map. Do you think this might be a landslide, or do you expect it to be just as head on?
I mean, honestly, after what happened in those first two games, I don't think this is going to be a landslide for either end of this. Because the way that GGEZ have generally been playing, they do have proper game plans. I think you noticed as well if you watched those last couple of games that the main reason why S8UL even won in a lot of the rounds that they did was because GGEZ just gave it to them for free. Like, I don't know in what universe, sorry, no puns intended, like they would even try to push through a snake fight when they were trying to put on an ISO shield. Trinity just put on a shield and then walked through a snake fight, breaking his shield, and he walked into the waiting arms of Venka, who was just ready to take that fight. Stuff like this just kept on happening throughout the entire game. It was just not a one-time thing. It was a recurring one. And if that does not happen on map number 3, GGEZ should be able to put a pretty good fight up against S8UL. You know that S8UL as a team, one of their biggest strengths from what I have seen is just punishing the mistakes from their opponents. And if they're able to do that constantly throughout this next map as well, it should be an easy victory for them, but GGEZ is still going to make it a tough fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't expect anything less from, both these teams to just go at it once again and get the score all the way up to, or at least get the rounds all the way up to 24, 25 rounds if they want to. And considering that it is another 3-sided map here, Lotus is going to be the final battle. I expect nothing less than carnage. And of course, in terms of compositions, recently, I think it was S8UL who did play Lotus pretty recently, but oh, okay. We're going for a Neon on Venka, continuing on over here from the previous map. We have RVK on the Vise, and Hawks will be playing his infamous Breach. On the other side, the only difference being that Trinity is going to be playing the Raze, and that's the only difference between the two teams.
Yeah, that Neon's just going to allow them to have so much more urgency the way they take a lot more of those fights. So S8UL, they're going to try to break the defensive lines of the map below this here. GGEZ, though, they're playing a lot more control heavy, which might work, but it's like two different dynamics, right? On one side, you have one team that will easily be able to run past a lot of the utility that you throw out, but you need to have good timing on your own utility to really facilitate this Neon to find a lot of value. But on the opposite side, you have a lot of utility that you can constantly change out and really throw your opponents to the loop of what you want to do next. So it's like two different playstyles showcase just because they have two different duelists on the team. So this is going to be interesting at the very least. Already a good early start here. The Omen's going to be able to get the crossing here almost immediately. Good shots being fired, and A-Lobby control already established as soon as the round starts. Okay, never mind. GGEZ thrown through a loop, and S8UL, they take the first one pretty decisively, I do believe.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. Kohli just decides to jump across that smoke, and even though he knew that there's a player right on top, and Venka's gonna just have an easy cleanup on Heaven. Pretty simple run for S8UL, and once again GGEZ making a tiny bit of an unnecessary mistake. I'm pretty sure that Venka was spotted here, and he's just trying to jump around there, Kohli, and yeah. Kohli showing, Venka showing his little friendly nature from back when they were together in a different team.
I mean, like, they just know each other's play style, right? At the end of the day. Both of them are that talented, but RBK just showcasing his own talents here already. Good for the early fight as he's able to find something, but over then, we still have to worry about the players that are waiting on the C side. It's going to be another issue for them. RBK is looking for the second. He's going to be able to find it. The Outlaw just reigning supreme one after the next. The shots just keep on connecting as Venka now hunting down DC. Pretty sure that they have already gotten the read of where DC is going to try to play from. Everyone else has been spotted with the A side push coming in, C being completely empty. There's only one spot left. That's the B side. And DC is just waiting to see if anyone's going to try to run in towards him. A couple of exit frags will do wonders to get this Nightfall up and running earlier on than it should be. But and then, S8UL, they're not taking the bait here. They're just going to wait.
He does have a classic, and it's pretty extremely disciplined here of S8UL to not push in any further. Now he's been spotted, and he will be taken out as well. Hoax is going to get a free ultimate op there, but RVK, the most successful one in this round, found 3 with that Outlaw, and now I'm pretty sure the full armors will be invested into on the other side, as you could see. And RVK is going to have to continue holding on to that sniper. The rest of the team, though, have a pretty decent buy. So this bonus could actually be much more than just a bonus. Although half armors will prevent them from being as, strong as they usually would be. And they are heading into a Breach who's sitting in a corner, which is not the usual that you see. But he is holding on that stun for Amin, and now has to go on for the fight. Kohli, straight to the dome, finds a bullet. RVK says, no problem if they've got full armors. I'm going to just hit a headshot and finish him up. Techno with the trade, and he's going to go a little further again. He's got the spike, though. Should probably refrain from getting into that smoke. Does go for the plant, and now it's a 4v3 retake. GGEZ, a little bit of trouble. Make that double. One after the other, running around, fighting for info. Spotted one. Makaveli gonna probably swing out here. No, he's gonna go for the smoke first. Maybe isolating the fights would be better for him, but the smoke comes out at the wrong time from Techno as well, and he goes for the first. Pulls out.
No way, he's alive
for the final kill, but Makaveli still standing strong. And that one little moment where isolation popped in and Techno chose to go for a smoke instead of just swinging out of the opponent's vision was a bit of a problem. Should have helped Helef there, actually.
Yeah, the wrong timing for utility has been one of those easier times for them. The GGEZ, saving grace for them to be able to win out on a round like this. A very necessary one, but you have to give it to Techno. He had that moments of brilliance, especially when it came down to the utility usage there. But even then, it's just, this was not a bad smoke, I would say. Like, the idea was good because he wanted to, give that extra little bit of cover so that the player pushing in from the side of lane couldn't really see Helef in that position. But it was just a little bit too little too late. But now RVK once again with the Outlaw in hand nearly took out the heads of one of those players. They found some value, the Arc Rose, to give a little bit more space for him towards the mid side to make a rotation. As GGEZ now, they have to worry about the A side being hit onto. Good utility usage. Vibor's position completely revealed, but they've yet to really go in for this hit just yet. Not able to find the kill. Still deal some damage though. The weaker weapons can cause some problems for them. DC none the wiser. DC worry about the player on the close angle. DC gets away with murder, daylight robbery in the progress. Ladies and gentlemen, someone call the police because DC, he deserves to get locked up.
Oh, the stun's perfect. Pushes Helef off the mark. Can't get the spike just yet, but he will be able to recover it in just a second. Will get away with it unless that smoke is going to fade away, which it does. And now he's got a little bit of a gap. Successfully just leeches himself out of the A side. Has got a passage to go towards B. Has to break it though. Gives away the sound cue. And that's going to start making GGEZ make their movements. Opens the door. RVK has to be worried about his back now. But Helef's doing that job for him. And that's a bait. Are they going to expect him dead?
No
yes,
way.
they do, but RVK is still faster. He's having quite the rounds with this Outlaw. And now Helef is playing along with his opponent's mind. Does tap the spike and will have to compete right here because he's got no more time left. And it's just Kohli. He's got a flash though. Helef has to stick this plant. And he will. He's got an opportunity to win, but the Spectre is going to be good enough in that situation. Just a 10 HP on him. Nothing else he can do. GGEZ will equalize, although these rounds have been extremely economically deficient for them, considering that it's come down to a 1v1 clutch in the end always.
Yeah, God, these games are just insane to watch. But the fact that DC got like these many frags here just by himself,
Enemy remaining.
it goes to show that the members of GGEZ really can give a lot in towards a round like this. But this was so risky. The fact that it came down to a 1v2 situation for the clutch to happen. GGEZ, again, one of those teams that have a tendency of making a lot of mistakes for no apparent reason. And S8UL really good at punishing it. This particular round, though, Kohli again showing why he is the clutch master for the team. Trinity position reveal. Techno's going to be able to find that trade-off almost instantly. But with the weaker weapons in the hands of GGEZ, so on the hands of S8UL, sorry, how do they want to try and fight into this? They already have a 4v4 now with both of the duelists being taken off of the table, so for now, it's all about taking that entry Nightfall in the hands of S8UL if they want to utilize it with the Into the Shadows to try and go in for a deep flank. But the question being, what's the game plan here for S8UL? They want to fish out at least one more kill for themselves because they do have a weapon to play for, but even then, that one weapon doesn't mean that this round's going to get any easier.
No charges.
Yeah, start crawling into B now. Do have a little bit of an inkling about player being a little deep onto heaven. That Nightfall's going to clear him out as well. Kohli's going to get away. Just make sure nobody's going to push him deeper into this situation. The plant's going to go down, and this Stinger might really do quite a bit of work here. Couple of the Phantom. Vibor just making sure that nobody's lurking up behind him, and the Nightfall from the defense now with the Steel Garden to counter it all. The ultimates are being flushed out, but S8UL still in decent amount of control. RDK holding on to that Outlaw, still waiting for any sort of angles to exploit, and he will. Takes out his alter ego, and now it's the Ailing Massacre, and Hawks is the captain of it.
Right there.
This ship is his, and he will sail it right. Takes out both of them, and it was a very, very scrawny retake, considering that one player coming in from C-Link, the other three all from A-Link, and it basically became a cemetery for them. Too small of a chokehold there to try and exploit that many people out of.
Forget about the retake here, Universe. The fact that they only had, what, half buys? We only saw Stingers in their hands with maybe 2 or 3 Sheriffs. Only 1% had a weapon that they retrieved because Trinity came running in to give it to them. And they still converted around like this. It just came down to GGEZ trying to funnel through one singular sightline. To push from A-League like that without any form of utility into their name is just such a big problem. Vibor taking a risky duel here already. Tried to be a little bit more dangerous, but even then, he should have had at least one teammate close by to try and sell a fake for him. And one by one, they just keep on falling. GGEZ. I don't really have much to give in towards this round as Venka knows the position of the last player, just jumps around as his teammate's going to come in for that kill. 2-4. S8UL, they're fast for this particular round.
Yeah, the pace has been extended a little, and I feel like the confidence to continue on that pace is going to be consistently exploited, but Hacker's going to try and put a stop to that. He's going to let S8UL probably simmer down a little, because they do have 4 ultimates, GGEZ, and 4 pretty big ultimates as that as well. Retake worthy, a lot of good amount of utility.
Question being whether or not he wants to utilize this utility to try and go in for a fast hit or slow it down over to a crawl. Because think about it, GGEZ, they have 2 options. Either they try to take the fight and just stop the members of S8UL from taking a lot of early control, heavy control at least, or just try to play reactively. And playing reactive up against S8UL because they have a Neon on the team is probably the worst idea that you can try to go for, because even when you try to toss out that utility, that Neon's just going to be able to break that timing. And you want to try and beat her to the setup point. So let's just see which ultimate is going to go online first, because that showstopper, of course, yes, it has value, but up against S8UL and the amount of utility that they also have in their arsenal, this is going to be tough, because at this point, it's a game of chess, right, Universe? Because whoever pops their ultimate first is probably going to be the ones to lose. So S8UL understanding this, I don't think they're gonna try to use it early because GGEZ, as soon as they use theirs, the Rolling Thunder, I mean, the reverse Rolling Thunder will instantly be the ones to find value. If and only if S8UL are in the positions that they can really come on back into a round.
Bring them down.
Main control trying to be exerted from both sides here. LF just trying to poke and see what exactly he can find. Just the information of a couple of players, but the reclearance comes in with a little bit of a walk push, and the rest of the defense falls away. They're going to go towards A. The ultimate is good, and Techno's going to be caught out. He did it well, tried something new, but didn't really work out perfectly. And now here comes the ultimate once again. A showstopper, finds a second, counter it all, comes RVK, finds a double, and Venka's going to triple up as well. He's going to retrieve the spike. He's pretty healthy himself, and he's now going to have to support RVK. Does have the ability to go in towards B. Vibhor going to play that safe. He does have a Steel Garden, so another round-winning ultimate here available. But considering what they've already invested, GGEZ, being the 2v2 was unprecedented.
This overdrive is also going to be another issue. Even if you use the Steel Garden, it's just not going to be enough for you. Enough for the fight. Venka's going to be able to find it. That's the Steel Garden taken off of the table, and Venka still has the overdrive available to him. The question being, how does he want to utilize it? Needs to be the timing. If DC catches him, trying to make this rotation over towards B main. Never mind, universe. It just worked. Venka got out scotch-free. He still has the overdrive up and ready with. DC needs to clear out multiple different angles to try and find out exactly where he could be. Still doesn't know exactly where the position could be. Like Venka in for the timing. DC's holding onto the angle, and the perfect read does come through as Venka tried to go in for the jiggle, and he gave away the positioning. 3-4 now. GGEZ, they take this victory for themselves, and all really came down to the wire. Even though they had the perfect utilization of ultimates here this early on, it just didn't mean much because GGEZ, they had much more in the tank given to this round.
Yeah, RVK was a savior. Venka came pretty close. I feel like he could have gone for the relay bolt first. Maybe just throw in a stun across the wall, bounce it off. Make DC a little uncomfortable, make him move around a little bit. But he went for the jiggle peak, hoping that he wouldn't be watching towards main, and that's going to be his demise. S8UL will be considering a third to their opponents. And once again, outside of A, Trinity wins the first duel, and he doubles up as well. The perfect haunt to complement his firepower. And S8UL have been handicapped to 3. And they're heading in straight to Vibhor. And he does have an ultimate to use at the right time, but RVK is here to challenge him once again. RVK has been having a good game so far. This Steel Garden is going to put a bit of a thorn in their works. They do dodge it though. Hoax is going to be able to successfully hold on to his Vandal. And the plant's going to be stuck as well. DC hoping to cause a little bit of chaos as they will be distracted. And his teammates will push on the back of it, but not going to be the case just yet. On been destroyed. That Prowler was a mistake, but it doesn't matter. DC is still going to win that fight. Here goes RVK. Wants to win it for his team. Needs a round individual clutch is required. And he's winning it all. He gets another. Hoax supports him. And the breach for breach combo here. Still stunned up. Kohli knows how Hoax plays, have been teammates before. Has to play it out for time now, Hoax, and he's a master at doing so. And Kohli went for a risky play, will be punished.
The fact that Hoax already had a flash in hand as well, the fact that he didn't try to utilize it. That moment-to-moment understanding of how your teammates play from back in the past is what will really give you that edge. 385 now on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. S8UL really showcasing their rounds can be turned around in almost a matter of an instant. This was a 4v2, mind you. And in a 4v2, it came down to a 1v1. It's all RBK, right? We called him the Sheriff Demon from back in the day, and his aim has just improved over time. Nothing can stop this man, but Venka being caught out on the entry here does take a lot of damage in the process. This will be a 5v5 retake going into this. The overdrive still up and ready for them to try and take a fight with if they want to utilize it, but I don't think S8UL, they're even going to use this Steel Garden because they know this is an eco, so it's going to be kind of useless if they accidentally do pop it.
Well, While the retake's going to be in place here, S8UL do have RVK watching the back lines while the side's going to be infiltrated, but everybody's holding their own. They've got one frag each coming in. Techno's got a third though, and he's going to let Venka do the rest. Techno held down the fort while he cleaned up. S8UL will win the round.
Where are you? Remaining.
All these rounds are really just coming down to the very end where you can tell that S8UL are just always in a league of their own. And the way that GGEZ have generally been playing, they're too isolated in a lot of the fights that they're taking, especially Vibor. I think you can tell that he's not that comfortable being on this Vice either. The positioning with the Vice is just so much more different compared to all of the other Sentinels in the game because of the way that you set yourself up. Still has Thorn Traps to just slow it down over to a crawl. The Steel Garden now utilized to give them an easier entry onto the side. No one's going to be peeking out from the defenders to try and even stop them. Plant's going to be completely free, but never mind. Maybe it's not because the plant didn't come out in time. This has gone from a bad to worse situation here. Techno, he doesn't have any smokes to give into the round here either. Vibor's going to be able to find that kill. Hoax is going to get put to a stop as well. He can't really come in for a plant just yet. DC with another kill, and one by one, they just keep on falling. Ladies and gentlemen, somehow, in some way, shape, or form, the members of GGEZ are able to make that squad work and make it happen.
Yeah, but Helef, oh, I thought he was going to get a spray down there onto two. Not going to be the case. GGEZ hold that C site with all their life they possibly can. The Steel Garden allowed them a bit of space, S8UL, to get into the site. Unfortunately, the only ultimate that was used, even though avoided by a certain extent, patience played out perfectly for GGEZ. And I would say S8UL got a little maybe greedy for fights over there rather than more so, prioritizing the objective.
Yeah, they're just gonna fall now on towards the A lobby side. That's just an absolute nuisance. So much utility being invested into that one spot, but S8UL still coming out on top for that one. They're able to get that turnaround play that was expected from them, but Kohli's still alive and kicking. Does have the flashes if he wants to give in towards this round, but just misses the opportunity. Cracked under the pressure. There's not really gonna be much that you can do here to get that turnaround point before last person remaining. Positions already revealed here. Down, stuck in a corner. And it's going to be RVK just toying with his food. His own twin sister pretty much just waiting for it on the opposite side. Path of convergence just not really going to be in the favor of Vivor, as he's just going to try to make a run for it. Save this weapon for a rainy day here. As S8UL, they take the 7th on the board. As GGEZ, they just need one more to go to that attack side with a very favorable, I would say, half, because from what I could tell, GGEZ, they performed the best on the attack side, and their defense is a little bit too lax.
Yeah, doesn't seem like there's anything getting out of S8UL's charge for at least an 8-4 half. Although GGEZ do have,
Round before the switch.
I would say, a decent amount of money to make in a buy here. They have an ultimate as well. We get to see what exactly is the ultimate economy looking like. I'm not sure how far the Rolling Thunder is at the moment. It is 2 away. Kohli, if they're able to get him to a position where he probably retrieves the A or gets a kill down as well. Doesn't seem likely though, because once again S8UL completely attracted to that A side, will keep on charging it with utility. Whether or not they fight it, utility has been a consistent barrage for them on that A main side, and now an instant rotate on towards the B side. Kohli, the only defender right now, he does have his initiated duo helping him out, but the position change at the absolute unfortunate timing. Why did he decide to jump up at the wrong time? Reporters get a trade onto an overextending Venka, but the plant is still in the hands of S8UL, and they have an advantage as well. The Nightfall, by the way, seemed to be of no use. Because what exactly was the point of putting down that Nightfall? You haven't really pushed anybody further. Sound cues that will usually disappear have now come back, and DC has got no opportunity of pushing forward here with an advantageous situation. it's over. DC might come on the flank and get one here, but even that seems unlikely because RVK is ready for him.
Yikes. These rounds are just
Switching
a little bit
sides.
too lackluster here. GGEZ showcasing that they're making the exact same mistakes as they did previously on the map of Haven. Once again, as soon as they have a lead in their hands, they just keep on jumping around and doing things that are completely unnecessary. S8UL just proving that they are a team and a force to be reckoned with, and they deserve to be onto that grand final stage first here from the upper brackets. But GGEZ, even if they do lose here, yeah, of course, they have that tiny bit of a safety net, right? Because the lower bracket run is still available for them, but they don't want to go back down there. They don't want to go up against Team Asterix, who took that hefty loss up against S8UL, right? And we have seen as well that Asterix as a team, they perform better when they take a loss, because that's when they just go back to the drawing board and really come back with strategies and set plays that we have never really seen before. This is their one chance to get that ticket to that grand final stage. GGEZ, a blast back to the past pretty much for what kept on happening for the map number 1 and also in map number 2. The team can still mount a comeback, but this one pistol round will just carry so much weight for them. Either they take it here or S8UL, they're going to run away with the possible victory for the map of Lotus.
Yeah. It seems like we have a slight bit of a technical pause here as we await for everybody to get ready. I do want to tell you about what Ace has got in store for you. The Aspire Go, which allows you to multitask like a prodigy. Because with the Aspire Go 14 AI PC, which is slim, powerful, and ready for every idea, it's ideal for you multitaskers, you makers, and minds in motion. With its AI-powered performance, it's the laptop that thinks as fast as you do. And if right now you go for the order, you can get up to 5,000 rupees in cashback or instant bank discounts of up to 15,000 rupees. So make sure you check out the description down below. You get Acer products, and maybe you could be in the next Acer Predator League. Who knows?
Absolutely. And hey, if you get yourself a Predator Helios purchase as well, you get a gaming monitor for free in addition. So if you're looking for that line of products on the top side, which will be a slight bit more costly, ladies and gentlemen, but of course, with the bank discounts, we have you covered to make sure that your bank is not crying at the end of the day when you make such an investment. But you can tell that the players in the server, they've made the investments, and their investments are now paying off tenfold with how well that they are playing. But for now, S8UL, they're going to need to make sure that the investments that they did for that first initial half don't go to waste here. As a 4-8 scoreline is going to initiate for them, they need to be careful in the way that they're trying to make these fights happen. Selef, first in line, so deep on these angles. He just keeps on fighting, not really giving much away here. The timing is key for them as Helef already pushing for the position. He knows the exact shoulder of Kohli as he tries to take that fight as one by one. They do fall. The entire side of A lobby just being littered with the blood of the opposition. And GGEZ just couldn't do anything to try and turn this one around.
I like the initial idea of just walking in towards A main, even though you saw that Sheriff. Only one person shoots that haunt, and then instantly everybody continues on walking. Unfortunately, S8UL had a better idea. The minute Helef takes that first contact, he's going to have 3 players rushing in behind him from B link. And that was pretty much the hammer down. Because once S8UL got 3 players there, and Helef got that first kill, even though he was blinded, it was pretty much game over. You can't find that many. And going through tree, again, you split yourselves up for pretty much failure. And now Venka looking for success again with that outlaw. Will barely get away. And GGEZ, after taking that first initial contact, will instantly head over towards either B or A. They're not interested in challenging that outlaw. They know they're not going to be able to sustain the damage with just 1 bullet on them. But Techno, looking to deliver the same on the other end of the map, gets 1, 2. A third not going to be possible, but he's given enough damage.
Now it's Hawks' turn to step up to the table. Never mind, it's not gonna happen. Perfectly timed out flash here for the peak. It's gonna be Helif still with the Sheriff in hand, being an absolute nuisance to the sides of GGEZ here. Even then, simplicity is not going to be there because RBK is already in towards the back line. Kohli's going to be able to shut him down, but Helif instant with the slap back to try and bring it all back. Ladies and gentlemen, slight bit of risks, but even then, GGEZ, they haven't really done a lot of economic damage because a lot of the members of S8UL didn't even go for buys in that last round. They just had Sheriffs and a Ghost in their hands, with Techno's weapon already being retrieved as well. So, at the end of the day, it didn't really hurt them as much as you would have think. Now with S8UL having double digits on the board, what's the calling and what's the answer?
Well, we're about to find out. A very strong A push here coming in from the attack. We've got a bunch of S8UL players to try and target this. Go for a bit of a retaliation. Techno does get one back, and there's a lot of bullets being fired, and Techno's proving to be the hero. Hawks gets one with his little utility as well, but it's come down to a 2v2 suddenly, and this 2v2 is now in the hands of GGEZ in terms of weaponry.
I'm pretty sure that Hawks is going to be able to get himself a gun in this place, though. He wants to try to at the bare minimum. Even then, slight bit risky. The concussive blast has already been utilized, so doesn't really have much. The fault line's up and ready. Try and take another fight as RBK is going to be the first one with this outlaw to try and possibly fish out a kill. She's been so consistent in so many of these fights. The fact of the matter is, they've already utilized the fault line and the timing's perfect. RVK is going to be able to find that kill. Machiavelli takes the backseat. Vibor now the last one remaining. Needs to worry about the players that are clearing out from multiple different positions. Clearance is key. The shots just keep on connecting. Never mind. I think that Hoax gave up on it in the very last second. The timing's going to be very close for it, but he's still going to be able to find the defuse at the barest minimum, though. 2 seconds left on the clock, and that's completely fine. S8UL, they take this victory, but good God, was a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, it was a bonus though, and they still win it off. And I have to mention Techno here. He started the fearless push that went first in tree, which Trinity had tried to engage into. He went straight in. Venka tried to catch him off from coming in behind and sliding. And although he was taken out, Techno found the first, picked up that weapon, teleported all the way on top of Rubble, and then managed to get a second as well. And Hawks was able to just about support him on that. Gets a third with his aftershock, and that has now given S8UL a 7-round cushion above their opponents. And look at this. Although they're running straight into the A side, they've got a very close angle to worry about. And it's a spray down showdown here. It's a trade for trade, though they're still holding on. GGEZ will keep themselves still in contention of numbers. And Techno playing for safety will have to get away just about as well. Kohli could have taken him out there. Lucky him to jump away like that and get away. Smokes exchanged outside of A main. And once again, they're going to re-clear. S8UL are not at all afraid of exerting their aggression here.
Oh no, not like this. The positions just being given away in the worst possible way. They try to push past the dark cover. That is going to hurt them. RPK doesn't really have the best of weapons to go in for a retake like this. Timing is key for him. Knows that the B main side is fully cleared out because his wall was not triggered. Needs to worry about the player from the top side. They have yet to clearly clear him. What's the secondary weapon? It is a Sheriff. The one weapon that Rishi's known for. RBK. Close for the angle, but DC's up, gonna be up and ready. Good shot here already. The Arc Rose is up and running for the spine, and RBK gets away with murder. Pulls out the outlaw at the perfect moment and knows that Kohli does not have full HP to try and survive. 4-12, ladies and gentlemen. A landslide victory happening now for the members of S8UL as they're one away from taking this victory. And honestly speaking, RBK, he was quiet for map number 1, but as soon as map number 2 and map number 3 rolled in, he has been the superstar level performer that we know him to be.
Yeah, and Kohli, he was just, I don't know why, in what scenario would you want to swap out your weapon there?
Rip and tear.
That, I mean, it's a habit we all unfortunately employ, but it's not one that's going to be useful in a round like this, where you desperately need a win. And now RVK stolen away the hopes of GGEZ and looking for more. Through the smoke, it's going to try and give them a little bit of a warning. And GGEZ will have to try and play with what they've got. Makaveli gets no information. They wait for him to appear, but he will not give them that opportunity. Although GGEZ are being retaliated with here. RVK, too much to bite off. I know you got a clutch just now, my friend, but maybe you gotta just slow down on that little aggression, my friend.
Yikes, RBK, I do believe is at 1 HP.
How is he alive? How is he alive?
It's just his day, man. I'm pretty sure that RPK is probably having the best game of Valorant that he ever played in his entire career, just in this BO3 series. I've already seen a lot of those mistakes, and it's going to be Venka who does find the opener. That's Vebor taking the backseat. The IGL for the team takes a big hit. And now GGEZ left to pick up those fallen pieces. RBK still in the back of sight. He's still going to be a nuisance that they have to deal with. Clearance is already done. Trinity with another big kill. He's looking for more. Paranoia comes in clutch here to force him off the angle, but they still have to worry about DC waiting for them on the opposite court. There's not really much that he can do here. 10 HP and a dream, and those dreams have now fallen down into the lower brackets to try and make their way back into that grand final stage. And ladies and gentlemen, the first grand finalists have already been crowned, and it's going to be none other than S8UL taking that one-way ticket straight to Bangalore.
Yeah, well, it was a landslide victory after all. In the end, we expected it to continue on the same trend that it did before, but I guess maybe I'm the little push that S8UL needed. Auro's taken his breather.
Exactly.
He was. I think the entertainment value out of this game has been crazy good. First two maps were very competitive, and then in the end, S8UL just somehow find each of their players stepping up at the right moment, especially RVK, who had a wonderful map right now, had very good clutches, very good outlaw moments as well, consistent. I think he played across probably almost I would say at least 60% of the rounds with an outlaw where he could afford a weapon. Apart from the pistols, of course, because that weapon, every time, even though they had full armors on the opposite side, he was able to connect his shots, whether it was required to hit straight to the dome. So overall, RVK, in my opinion, the MVP of this map for sure. But in terms of team gameplay, every time on the attack, S8UL tried to either fake that A main attack or, try to get map control, and then re-hit that on the back of what GGEZ were doing. Or if they went straight in for the absolute, jugular right there itself when they sent Venka in. Either way, S8UL always were managing to get back a trade. It was evident like that of a case for GGEZ as well. When every round, I think in the first 5 rounds were coming down to a 1v1. The economy of their, rounds were taking a hit, but it was still feeling a little bit closer than it was in the second half.
Yeah, it just didn't really look like it was the exact same team that we witnessed on game number 1 and game number 2, right? It felt as though the entire team just lost steam. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of understandable because you fought tooth and nail for map number 1. You took a victory in map number 2 where you should have won in a lot of the rounds because of the mistakes that you made, that you dropped down. And you just couldn't really bring yourself back from those flaws anymore. You still have that lower bracket, which is completely fine. It's understandable that you maybe didn't want to show all of your cards in one particular map, but it just didn't really look like you were trying to take a victory here, because a lot of those rounds really just came down to Kohli jumping around, trying to reposition himself, and he just kept getting caught off guard in almost so many of his fights. He was in the perfect position. He could have easily gotten at least 2 frags in certain spots, but Kohli just... I don't know why he pulled out his knife, or he just tried to jump across to reposition himself. It just kept on happening throughout the entire game. Like, I don't know how to say this. GGEZ, they make the same mistakes in every single goddamn round, and it's like driving me crazy. Because I know this team is really good. I know how good the players are on their roster. But these mistakes are such common mistakes that rookie players make, not seasoned veterans that they have on their side.
Absolutely, and while they do have one more chance to try and make it to that grand final, they will be in the lower bracket. It is going to be, still a step that's going to be a difficult one for them to take, because now they have, another opponent to face, of which, of course, one will be facing, two of whom are right now in the lower bracket will be playing the next series that is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And the winner of that series is going to be facing GGEZ in the next round. And then we will find our winners for our finalists who will be playing on the 11th of October. Let's have a look at the numbers though. We have the scoreboard up just to refresh you guys with what the numbers are looking like. And of course, RVK right on top, 328 ACS from him. And look at the disparity of the rest. It's not that far at all. 17, 14, 14, 13. Everybody's had their piece of the pie here.
Absolutely. And they've showcased consistent performances out of every single one of their players. I think that Techno deserves a little bit more limelight than we possibly are giving him, because honestly think that Techno probably got the most impact frags out of everyone in this entire team, because yeah, Venka was like that spearhead for the team, right? So he just made space for them, but Techno was probably the best one to utilize a lot of that space. Hoax was really good as well. Helev did his job, but Techno, the way that he was so aggressive on that controller was just absolutely insane. RVK, he deserves that MVP, but the unsung MVP of this story has to be Techno in the way that he utilized the space of the Neon. No other character could do something the way that Techno did, but his fearless nature really just allowed the entirety of S8UL to have the gameplay that they did. RBK had nothing to worry about because Techno was there to really be that second player to take those entries for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Techno did make a lot of fearless plays, and I agree that he should be, given a little bit more credit than we will ask of him. Especially that one play he made, on top of Rubble when it was a bit of an eco round for them, and he got a double there. Helped Oaks get a third as well, and not to mention even the 3K that he got when they were on the attack in towards the last 2 rounds, I believe. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, while we do come to an end in this stream, I would just like to leave you another small little offer of the Swift Lite 14 AI, which is smarter, sleeker design, and it is, of course, your ultra light, ultra fast AI sidekick. You can fire this up with the Copilot key as well, which allows you to use the built-in intelligence, handle heavy lifting for you. With a 1.1 kg metal body, very light, a vibrant OLED WXGA display, and a super slim 15.9mm profile, this PC is built to think fast, look sharp, and move even faster, and has an amazing design as well. So you get to be stylish and you get to be powerful. And with every purchase of the Swift series laptop, if you buy this Swift Lite 14 AI, you do get an Acer Sling bag for absolutely free, apart from the cashbacks that you get, and also the instant bank discount offers of up to 15,000. I'm gonna leave you with that last little tidbit of an offer. Do go check out in the description. You've got all of the Acer products right there. Maybe find your next big purchase, and you could be practicing, getting up your game, and getting onto the stage maybe the next time, or at least, make your way up, start grinding with your maybe this most important purchase of your student life, your work life, whatever, whichever part of your life you're in. But for now, Aggressive and I are going to take a small little break. We're going to come back for the next series, which is going to decide who's going to be facing off GGEZ in the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, the lower bracket is going to be up next at 7 p.m. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The all-new Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th gen Intel Core i7 processor. Enjoy sharp visuals on a full HD display with a flexible 180-degree hinge. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. Powerful, flexible, and ready to go. The Acer Aspire Lite with up to 13th gen Intel Core i7 processor and a full HD display. Lightweight at just 1.59 kilograms. It's powerful, flexible, and ready to go.
Acer Iconia. Fast tweet, cool moves, step a pick, we groove, web slit, post quick, friends laughing, we click. Follow me, let's wipe and roll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, let's wipe and roll. Follow me with Acer and control. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me, it's the Acer show. Follow me wherever we go. Follow me wherever we go. Vibes lit, post big friends laughing, we click. Follow me, follow me, go. Follow me, follow me, go. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia. Follow me. Acer Iconia.
Sleek, with Neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know. Lightweight game, heavy all night. Work off late, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift Neo, oh, that's how we roll. Click, sleek, swift Neo, power in hand, watch it go. AI smart, runs the show. Style and speed, you already know.
Swift Neo. You feel me?
Lightweight game, heavy all night. Work out play, it's just right. Color that pop, style and glow. Swift Neo, oh. Let it lead, let it grow.
Turn it with every tap and glow.
Swift Neo, that's how we roll.
On the edge, vibes up, you feel me? Swift Neo.